Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's Thursday, and the Raptors lost their fourth straight game. This time to the Rockets last night after being dominated down low by the bigs, the Rockets, having absolutely no low defense and no rebounding. The Raptors hung with them with good 3-point shooting for the first half. In the second half, actually right at the end of the first half, things fell apart and they let the Rockets go up by 7 by halftime when they had the lead within 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. I hate doing this because I want them to show improvement. I hate doing these streams after games where it's obvious that there are really serious problems with the team, because in some ways I don't want to talk about dismantling things or taking things apart to get better. I'd rather just see the things we already have progress and get better. But there are definitely some serious problems with this Raptors team this year. And I don't want to play the blame game too heavy. I think that it's dangerous to just come in blazing and saying it's this person's fault. This person's fault. It's this person's fault. Because a lot of people will start saying a bunch of stuff all over the place in Raptors Nation. And I'm going to be very careful with my criticism today, but it is necessary to talk about what the hell is wrong with the Toronto Raptors right now, but within reason. Within reason. There's a certain level that's just toxic, that is not necessary. And then there's levels that are necessary to be real about the situation. And we want to try and be fair about this. I'm going to blame one person today. One person. Now, I'm going to talk about things I don't like with other people, but it doesn't mean I want them traded. It doesn't mean I want them fired. What it means is I'm going to say something today that I want somebody to hear, and hopefully they'll hear it, because in some ways this is where the problem is. It's not at the level you guys think it is. I'm going to say something today, and I know y'all are like, woo, what's he going to say? Oh, well, you better just stay tuned in, because I'm going to say it in a little bit. I'm not going to say it right this second. So, yeah, the Raptors lost last night, but hey, the Blue Jays won. So, go pay attention to that, Toronto sports fans. Seriously, forget about the Raptors right now. Fuck that Halloween scary shit that we saw last night down in Scotiabank Arena. It was scary. Not the costumes, but the game and the way the Raptors are playing right now is scary. Oh, yeah, it's a horror show. Definitely. The Halloween theme was fitting for the horror of how the hell can the Raptors shoot so well and shoot so many threes, make so many threes, and still get their ass routed somewhat? Seriously, that's scary. That is scary. That is Halloween, scary Halloween horror right there. That the Raptors can shoot so well, shoot like 50% from three, and still manage to lose a game to somebody. That shows you that three-point shooting does not matter as much as rebounding and defense, casuals. That shows you that in some ways the way to build the team is defense and big guy first. And that's who I'm coming after right now, Bobby Webster. That is who I'm coming after right now. Bobby, you have not built a team to sustain an NBA season, because obviously if our Austrian center's out, we're fucked. Yeah. So Bobby Webster, I'm pointing the finger at you right now. You need to get more bigs on this team immediately, like today. You are fucking around with this team getting destroyed because it has one major weakness right now. And I don't know why we have to have short-staffed on bigs for years and years right now. I don't know if that was your style with Ujiri. Man, we don't need bigs. We'll just do it how we do it. Fuck that, Bobby. Fuck that. We need bigs, motherfucker. And you need to go get a big in the next couple days. Seriously. You have an open roster spot. We have an open problem. And you need to open up and get that fucking person in here. And you need to find out who it is. You need to get on your job, Bobby Webster. You need to go and find somebody on the waiver wire right now that can come in and provide just a level of basic front line stopping somebody, because Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun doing rolling pick and rolls, just rolling right through our smaller players ain't working. No, it's not. Nobody boxing out. Nobody stopping nothing. All these offensive rebounds for the other team. No, Bobby, it's your fault right now because you built a team that is not deep at center, and now we're fucked already 5 games in the season. So I'm blaming Bobby Webster right now. We can get into how the coaches don't have shit organized and right exactly sure. We can get into how the fucking players are playing half-assed and run around, standing around, looking at people instead of playing the damn game, playing glorified cardio right now. But the root of the problem is that they don't have the right kind of people to come into the battle to have a fair shot. We're fucked from the start. And Bobby Webster needs to go and get a new center. He need not a fucking power forward masquerading as a center. We need a true fucking center right now, Bobby. Especially if Jakob's back ain't gonna be 100% for a chunk of this year. You better go fucking get a real true center, Bobby, and stop fucking around with this roster. We don't need this hole. Don't listen to Scott. Don't let Scott say, I can play center, guys. Don't worry. Fuck that, Scott. You haven't proven shit about playing center. So fuck that, Scott. You don't get to say I'm a center too, Bobby. Don't worry about getting another center. No, you don't even say that. And your friend Jonathan's great, but he's not enough either. Sandro Mamu, you're the only fucking big guy on the court. You can't fucking leave the paint. You got to stay in the paint. Don't come out and guard people outside. I saw Scotty yell at you for that. This is easy to fucking understand what you do in basketball. You have big guys down low and you stop them from getting to the basket. You can't stop anybody. You can't fucking win games. The Rockets will just walk through the lane and score layups. And you're fucking trying to catch up. We got it down to 9 points. We got it down to really close. But it didn't matter because you can't stop jack shit at the other end because they just walking right through to the basket. Doing where the fuck they want. Where the fuck did our defense go from last year? Was it just because we played shitty teams? Is it because Brandon's on our team all of a sudden? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is the difference between the Raptors at the end of last year and the Raptors from right now. Is it Orlando Robinson? Holy shit, I didn't realize Orlando Robinson was that good. Bobby Webster, why'd you let him go to Orlando? What the fuck, Bobby Webster? This team needs bigs now. They needed them yesterday. When the fucking losing Shamshay looks so much even worse now because we have an obviously glaring hole at the center position with our team right now. So we're going to blame anybody today. We're not blaming Darko. We're not blaming the players in a certain way. We're blaming them as a group. We're blaming them as a group for low energy, low effort, and low getting after shit. And I'll break it down exactly how they're fucking up right now. But Bobby Webster, it starts with you right now because it's obvious that the Raptors have no chance to win without more bigs on their team. And you better be fucking listening to me right now, MLSC, because this is going to be a long-ass season. You know what you're going to do if you don't fix this, Webster? You're going to get your coach fired. You're going to get some major trades happen, and this team is going to look totally different by the end of the year. And maybe that is the design. Maybe some of these guys on the team understand this, and they're like, well, let's fuck things up so we can get out of here. You know, the way I feel about the team right now is they're unprofessional. This is the word I've been using the last 3 or 4 games. They are not playing professional basketball. They are not playing like professionals. They're not carrying themselves like professionals. They're not making decisions like professionals. They're playing like unprofessionals. The last time I said the Raptors played unprofessional, OG, Dennis, Pascal were on our team still. And there was a weird period in November 2 years ago when Darko had just started out where the players were playing unprofessional. They were not playing up to how they're supposed to as professional players. And some of them were not trying hard enough. Some of them were not doing things correctly. And some of them knew they were on their way out. Anunoby, Siakam. That's what I'm saying. And I feel the same damn vibes around this team as 2 years ago in the very beginning of Darko's coaching career with the Raptors. There are unprofessional things going on with our players, and it don't look right. And the leaders on our team, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, they need to hold a new level of professionalism. Because honestly, Scott, you set the tone with your Bush League bullshit, with your looking back and taunting and all that bullshit. That's not professional. So all of a sudden, our team's not professional. We don't have fucking people taking free throws seriously, going up there half-assed and fucking losing free throws and shot. That's not professional. That's not professional. You don't go and fucking block out and go get rebounds. That's not professional. You don't take your defensive assignments seriously to try and stop them. That's not professional. All y'all jokers are out there running glorified cardio right now. Fucking standing around watching the other team do things on the court instead of doing things yourself. Seriously, how pussy whipped are y'all right now? You wimpy ass motherfuckers standing around letting the Rockets muscle and arm you. They were saying on the thing, oh, not only are they bigger than the Raptors, they're stronger and they're muscling them around and pushing them around like little wimps. That is what happened last night. And sure, we blame Bobby for not giving us the right soldiers to go into battle. But also at the same time, you guys should have more pride in fucking playing more professional basketball. One of the things that y'all do with your defense is it's a two-part defense. It's not a one-part defense. And one part happens, the other part doesn't get it done exactly. It doesn't work. Our defense is predicated on shit disturbing and getting a deflection, getting a hand in there, getting it loose from the other team. We can get that first part done, but the second person isn't there to go and recover the ball because their lazy asses standing around watching. We see one good play where maybe Shed gets the ball loose. The ball is loose. It's on the floor. Somebody's supposed to go grab it. The second Raptor is. But nobody's doing that shit. They're standing around watching. That is a big problem. That defense only works when the second action of the action happens. And that means somebody's got to initiate the looseness of the ball, and the second person's got to go and secure it. But nobody's going to secure it afterwards. The Rockets and the other teams are going and recovering the ball, and we don't get our good turnovers. When the second part doesn't happen, the securing of the ball and the turnover happens. That you lazy ass motherfuckers stand around too much watching. I will absolve a few of y'all that you're doing it right. RJ Barrett, you are playing your ass off. Thank you. And your uptick in defense is noticed. I am absolving you of what I'm saying right now. I will absolve you. Rookies, Colin Murray-Boyles, you don't know jack shit of what you're doing out there totally, but you're doing a good job with effort, and your fearlessness is noted. And you're doing well, but they're going to come find you at the three-point line at some point. Don't get used to that. And also, they don't know who you are. That's part of the reason why you can operate the way you can right now, because you don't have a scouting report yet. But you will, and it will get harder. Trust me. So don't rest on your laurels. Keep working hard, because the tests will come more harder in the future. Trust me, Murray-Boyles. Trust me. You're absolved. Jamal Shed, you are doing mostly okay with your activity and how you're running the team. But in some ways, you're pissing me off too, because in some ways, I want you to do more as a bench leader and getting your bench players scoring more. Because the bench not scoring nothing right now is a big, huge problem. But otherwise, I feel like you're still playing with a good leadership level and also a good level of intensity on defense and getting after it. Thank you, Jamal Shed. But other than that, there's not many other people on that team I want to give kudos to. Jacoby, you're fine too. Jacoby, I see you out there working on defense. I see you doing stuff. I wish you would play more, because honestly, you're the only one out of a lot of them that is taking the defense very seriously and doing pretty good stuff on defense. That's it. That's it. Those are like the only four guys on this team that I feel comfortable with and what they're doing with their effort and what they're putting out on the court right now. The rest of them are fucking up in different ways. And I do mean Scott and Brandon and IQ also. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's too much lackadaisicalness. There's too much sleepiness. There's too much casualness. There's too much, I don't really give a shit in some ways on down low in my energy that's coming up from those guys. Scotty, man, you're not a big if you ain't playing like a big. And Scotty, you want to be a defensive player on the defensive team? You want to be a defensive player of the year? Fucker. You're nowhere near that shit right now, man. What the fuck are you doing out there? You let water through like a sieve. Bro, you have no seal. You have no lock down low. You let anybody score on you right now. Does that piss you off, Scotty Barnes? It should, because you should be stopping people. You want to be a defensive player of the year? You're a joke saying that the way you're playing right now. There's no fucking way on any earth that you win a defensive player of the year the way you play defense right now, Scotty Barnes. Where's your fucking goal for that right now? Because you ain't showcasing shit. You ain't even on a level with OG right now with this shit. OG was solid. OG could do fucking defense even when he wasn't scoring no matter what. But you are showing that you can't do basic defense right now. You can't just basically seal anybody out. You have no strength to hold anybody out. And they are scoring on you right next to you, putting the ball through the hoop with your head right next to the net. So what the fuck are you, Scott? Are you going to be a low post defender? Are you going to be a high-end defender in this league or not? Because honestly, words don't mean jack shit if the action on the court doesn't show it. And I'm serious, Scott. You really want to have this, you're getting a bad reputation for the opposite right now as a shitty, piss-poor defender. You think you're one of the best defenders in the league? My ass! None of this shit is shown on the court right now, Scotty. Your offense is great. In fact, I'm glad you hit the threes last night. In some ways, I'm like, oh, shit, don't make too many threes. This could cause trouble for us. But no, you walk in those threes, you make them, your hands better. That's great. You're starting to diversify your offense a little bit better. That's great. But don't forget the defensive end, Scotty Barnes, because you're making big fat Fs on that side right now. Big fat Fs. And this is why we need help in big men, Bobby Webster, because we can't have Scotty looking so bad on defense because he's playing out of position defensively. The man has not got enough energy to do it on both ends of the court. And in some ways, he shouldn't be the best defender on our team on some nights. He should be able to free range and be in the middle of both. And somebody else needs to be the best defender sometimes. And that would normally be Pirtle. But fuck. Brandon Ingram, you're an amazing talent. You are an amazing talent. You can score. You are amazing. I can't wait to see you more on this team. I can't wait to see you get buzzer beaters. I can't wait to see you. But some reason we don't see you in the fourth quarter. Some reason they're not playing you or going to you in the fourth quarter. We see you right from the start of the game. You get us going. You're doing amazing little turnaround, mid-range shots. You're hitting threes. You're going to the basket at times. You're passing off and getting to people. But we're not seeing you late in the fourth quarter. And I don't know if that's Darko. I don't know if it's the other guys. But either way, Brandon, I need that. And also, you're doing better on defense, but you're still not doing it exactly right. You know, Brandon's called a slim sleeper. And in some ways, he's got sleepy eyes. In some ways, he's low energy. In some ways, he's got a very chill attitude. But in some ways, we can't have that. We need you fired up. We need you fucking engaged. We cannot have a lackadaisical vibe to our team because we're a frenetic team, an energetic team that uses energy to cause things to happen on the court. But if we're coming in with the mindset of the slim sleeper, maybe we're too lackadaisical. I don't want no Pelicans vibes up here. We need to be going after it aggressively and getting after things and resting on laurels, being okay with what's happening to us as far as getting scored on down low and all this other shit. Y'all should be pissed off just like I am. Y'all should be fucking angry just like I am because y'all look like chumps around the basket and not being able to stop people. So, you know, Brandon, you had a great offensive game last night. Thank you for hitting the shots, but I still feel like your energy is too casual. And in some ways, we need an uptick from you as a leader to show these young guys that are on our team. You are an older leader on our team, Brandon, that we need to be more aggressive and frenetic in our energy and no more half-ass passing either. None of this wimpy-ass passing where it's get picked off and ran the other way for a layup. I'm sick of this shit. IQ, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you, bro. Last night actually made me kind of turn on IQ. Because I think that he, in some ways, may be a down low saboteur right now. That motherfucker isn't playing as well as he could, and it's on purpose. I don't know what you're doing, IQ, but you better get your shit straight. I don't care in some ways if you're not a good defender, but you better stop lousing up our offense with poor decisions and fucking freezing people out. I saw you freeze out Grady Dick last night. I've heard the allegations of you freezing out Brandon late in games. Listen, don't do this shit, Emmanuel. You can have favorites on the team that you like to get the ball to. Obviously, you're going to get the ball to RJ. But don't do this shit. You better do what's best for the team and stop fucking around. And honestly, you're not playing serious enough. You're too casual. You are too loose and casual, and maybe that's part of your vibe and how you have to play to be who you are. But motherfucker, you better tighten up because you are fucking us over left and right on the down low, and I can see it with my eyes now. And you got to stop doing that, man. You got to stop doing that. I don't mind the hitting the threes. I love that your assist to turnover ratio is good. But, man, you've got to stop doing that, man. All right, we're going to get 4 quarters real quick. Let me get the volume up. And, yeah, we're going to go talk to Seymour real quick. This is Calgary, Alberta, Canada on the phone with me. Good morning, Seymour Pape, the sheriff.
I was sitting here drinking my coffee, listening to, the rant you're going on with. I like it. It's positive. It's like my coffee needs sugar and you're bringing it. You know what I'm saying? But can you elaborate more on this freezing out? Because this is why I had to call you. Can you go into more detail on the manual freezing out player?
Well, all right. So basically, the other day, and after one of the games, Brandon Fan was in here, and he's blaming IQ for not getting the ball to Brandon in the fourth quarter, like basically avoiding passing to him. That's the freezing out. So basically, it's these situations where we have open guys or ability to get balls to guys, and IQ is passing to particular players at certain times in the game. And Grady had some open shots in the middle of the game last night that they could have got the ball to him, but IQ passed him up and threw it to somebody else. And it's kind of like we need Grady to get going. IQ's our point guard. He needs to recognize, maybe if Grady gets a good look, you need to get the ball fucking to him, because if Grady can start hitting shots, that'll help our bench scoring. But IQ fucking avoided him the whole stint that he was in there when he was kind of running around doing well. That's not good point guard work, because Grady is struggling to a degree right now. And to get his good feelings going and good going and play better, you got to get him something good. And I absolutely caught him freezing out Grady in the middle of the game last night. And the allegations about him freezing out Brandon at the end of the fourth quarter in one of the games recently, well, maybe I'll start to believe it if I see this action from Quickly, where he is not giving the ball to certain players on our team in different situations. That's what it is right there, Seymour. That's what it is.
Yeah, so, I sort of agree with you with everything. I want to go into more with Grady now.
Okay.
What could be the issue? Like, do you think it's like, could Brandon Ingram? Because after what I've seen last night and the other couple games he's been playing, yeah, you're right. This guy is really something special.
Mm-hmm.
I think I seen even Kevin Durant even shake his head a couple times at a couple shots. Like, wow. But yeah, could it be that Brandon has come in and the level that he's at, the expertise level that he's at, it's maybe has some effect on Grady? Maybe Grady doesn't see himself in the rotation with Brandon here, or I don't know what the problem is with Grady. It just looks weird. Something is wrong.
You know what I think it is right now? I think that because we have a very deep team and it's not the same night in, night out, like last night Jameson didn't get to play, there's kind of a weird, chaotic thing about our rotation every night, where some of our guys are not getting, regular time to be used to it. And in some ways, that because the competition's higher, maybe the pressure's higher. And, Grady had a bad game last night. He didn't play well. He had one little layup there, but he missed an open 3 late that he absolutely needed to nail. And he was a defensive liability also at times too. It's like they are trying so hard to make an impression between Jacoby, Oshai, Grady, Colin Murray-Boyles, like all these guys that are in that middle area, Jameson, Jonathan, that they're maybe more pressurized and not as loose because, last year it's like we had injuries and these guys would get to play. But right now, most of our team's healthy and they really are worried about like improving or looking good to increase how much they get to play or, those kind of things. And in some ways, I think that's what's manifesting with them being kind of shit altogether. And maybe Darko needs to make a tough decision and make them odd man out and make a regular 9 or 10 man rotation that they can be dependent on. And it should really be just dependent on guys,
Okay. But, to the defense of Darko. I'm going to come to the defense of Darko. I feel like Darko is playing with one hand tied behind his back. And the reason why I say that is I respect the fact that Bobby's in there. I trust Bobby just like it was Masai. But I think what we're losing, the fact is with the loss of Masai, we're seeing it. Because this is Bobby's first year in that position. And we're seeing it. Remember, we pretty much have a rookie GM right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say that. Because he's been a GM for almost 10 years. It's not, he really does have the experience, but I will agree with you about Masai's absence because it could very well be, because one of the things I say about Ujiri was he was quality control. And in some ways, he would, like, I think that these last few games, if the first one had happened, like against Giannis on Friday, he would have read the riot act and kind of gotten things going. So maybe there is an internal thing that would come from the top if Ujiri was still here, that would be like lighting a fire under their asses and saying, look, we're the Raptors. You guys can't look this bad for this many games. And he would probably like do something. I think that in some ways we have major fundamental problems right now because we don't have the bread and butter that you absolutely need in this league, and that's defense and rebounding. And until we get those things, we're not going to be able to compete this year, and we will be a bottom feeder team. And I thought we had it because of last year. I thought we had it, but Jakob being out has been such a huge blow. And then the rest of these guys just not getting the assignment after him. There's no next man up when it gets to this category and what we need right now. And that's bullshit. That's fucked up. Because in that some ways is the roster build. That in some ways is the roster build. All right. I know we didn't really do the quarters. Let's go ahead. Let's do a second quarter. Seymour.
Okay, so we going in with Bobby. Could it be that if Masai had stayed, he would have grabbed, although we can't really turn back the hand of the clock and everything, but if we still had Masai, maybe he would have went with Mahawak? Because if you look at it now, if we would have went with Malawak, we're sort of, that's what we need, just need a big body. Like I think the Raptors were trying last night. I've seen a lot of times they were going for rebound, but they were just too small. They couldn't get the ball.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is a force down there.
Yeah.
Like, they had some big bodies, and there was nothing they could do. Once I seen that CMB was starting at a 5, I already knew. I said, there's a chance
I didn't like that.
With speed, we could have beat them with speed, just hustle and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it came to the size point of the game, we're cooked. We were cooked.
There's ways around it, but you have to be really disciplined. And it is getting the spots faster than guys, and then holding your space. Like, I don't care if Steven Adams is bigger than you. In some ways, it's like, look, Scott, you're going to have to find some strength and get him on your back and push him back with your body more and more. You got to just force the space. And if you're faster than them, well, you can get to the rebounding spot better. Like I said in the last couple of days, I want the Raptors to telegraph where rebounds are going and go to those spots. There's too much time where they're standing around just looking dopey. And meanwhile, the ball's going somewhere and somebody on the other team's telegraphed it and they're going to collect it themselves. There's too many of these offensive rebounds going to no man's land, and we're not the faster team to go get the loose ball. These are problems because this is effort problems. And this is also IQ problems. These guys are not being smart enough to see where the ball is going and going to get it. That's why I want all of them to fucking start studying like Dennis Rodman and start studying how balls hit backboards and rims and where they're likely to go. And if you have teammates that shoot a certain way and miss a certain way, you should know where that ball goes every time, Scotty Barnes. Why are you not studying this, man? This is what I'm saying. This is something that's so easy to, in some ways, learn. But these motherfuckers don't get it. Where are coaches with this? Seriously, where is ball tracking off rebounds? Seriously, I don't understand why they don't know this. Because honestly, this would make a game changer right now. If we just had one of them get off their ass and go after it and get the ball every single time. I don't give a shit. We could have Dennis Rodman on our team, 6'9". Colin Murray Boyles. You want to be a hero? Just worry about getting 20 rebounds in the fucking game, and that's it. I don't give a shit if you shoot. I don't give a shit if you make a 3. All I give a shit about is you go and getting 20 rebounds. Colin Murray Boyles, that's your assignment. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can we put a challenge on a single guy on our team? Jonathan Mobo, you want more time? You got to get 20 rebounds tonight. And I don't give a shit if you're outmatched in size. You go out there and get 20 rebounds. You can play fucking 30 minutes a game. That's.
You could see it. We were playing chess. No, we were playing checkers. They were playing chess. And I think where I seen it was, they threw a bluff card at us to start the game because a lot of us was expecting that big lineup right off the jump.
They played it still, though.
They came with Okogie and all that, right? So at the game, and when the game started, I think when everyone was just trying to catch a vibe, they were thinking, okay, this is going to be a regular game. Houston's actually just going to play us like a normal game. And then halfway in there, they came in hard. Like, we were running with them. It was close up until, I think, going into the third.
Yeah. No, we were winning. We were winning with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Right. And then you could see it's like they all were rebounding from the point guard to the 5. Every shot that went up for Houston, you've seen all 5 Houston players attacking the rim, like, for the rebound, all of them. And I seen it, I'm like, damn, we're cooked because we don't have a big body in there. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, I see a lot of Scotties standing around, just sort of. You got to put your body out there.
You got to keep moving. These guys are staying around too much. This glorified cardio, some of the shit they're doing. Now, I will say this: we could have beaten the Rockets last night. There are ways we could have beaten them. I think we could have beaten Milwaukee and we could have beaten Houston. The other 2 games, I don't know if we could have won. The San Antonio game, I don't think we could have won because there was just certain things happening. The Dallas game, I guess maybe could have won somehow, but this game last night was more winnable than the game on Friday, and the game on Friday was winnable. We know that against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. That's the thing. This game was winnable. There were strategies we could have used to win the game last night, but we were just so ineffective at low post defense that there's no way we could seal it or get stops at the end. And that's a huge problem. That's going to be fundamentally a thing that will not allow us to win if we can't make stops. There's no stops when we're going to lose all year long because we have no defense. The stats right now for the Raptors and allowing points in games and also the field goal percentage of the other team is dreadful, is horrendous. And
what is it, like 135, 100? Because they dropped 139 on us last night.
Yeah, there's a Kurthika stats that I kind of posted last night. Let me just read it real quick. What did I write? I wrote where is it? Kurthika's little stat line for yesterday. Here it is. Over the last 3 games, the Raptors have been outscored 146 to 85. Losing the rebounding battle by 20 per game. And they're allowing 133 points on 58% shooting over their last 3 games.
Damn. That's crazy.
That's messed up, and that's horrible, man. That's horrible. Those are the kind of stuff that's like that, we can be bad like we've been in the last 2 years, but we have sunshine and we're building towards something good. But right now, the roof has been pulled out. I mean, the floor has been pulled out from us in the house. We have nothing to stand on. And in some ways, we've got to figure out what we can stand on again to salvage this season. Because seriously, Bobby, if you don't do something, if Darko can't figure something out and change something with his coaching, or the players don't fucking wake up, y'all are going to need to make changes immediately as soon as you can, instead of waiting or anything like that, because this is not working. And this is 5 games in. Now we're going to play Cleveland tomorrow, and this will be a very big test. Now, if we can win this game, I'll feel better. But in some ways, it's like, how the fuck are we going to play Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the lineup in Cleveland with who we have presently available right now? Like, seriously, this is not going to be a pretty game.
Yeah, it's not looking good, man. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So how does that, because they said yesterday that Houston is able to get another player added to their roster.
Yeah.
Like they're asking the league for some. So we can't do that?
Because Fred has a certain max contract or a big contract. They can get half his money and sign a player because of the what is it? Something like grievance player or something like that they need. They can get somebody like a hardship player. That's what it is. A hardship player, because they have a major chunk of their salary that's out. I mean, I wonder why we couldn't do that with Brandon at the end of last year. But anyway, but yeah, they're going to be able to do this. And in some ways, I don't know why we don't get to explore these kind of things. I've always heard players that are big time getting out and people getting exemptions and hardship exemptions and shit like that. But the Raptors don't ever seem to get that chance with any of our major injuries and what happens with us. I guess maybe they have to be for the whole year or something. I don't know exactly the rules with this. In some ways, the NBA has a whole set of rules that we don't totally understand because they're not fucking totally clear or fair, it seems like. So I don't know. They are going to get a new player and some money because Fred's out for the year. So
So what's the deal with Precious? Because Miami signed him and then they cut him.
Yeah.
So he's in the market again. But I think if we do go with Precious, we're gonna see a lot of still this. Yeah, he's a big body, but we're still gonna see a lot of the same stuff. Still, they're looking around, letting guys cut to them because Miami wouldn't just cut him for no reason. There gotta be something there. I think probably Precious is still not engaged as we want him to be.
Yeah.
I get that he would be a familiar face, but I think it would just be a lot of what we're seeing from
I don't think
right
that he's the answer. I don't think he's the answer. I brought him up only because he was one of the few people that I could remember that are kind of bigs and that are available. Yeah. But I think we actually need a true center. I mean, if we could get somebody like a Luke Cornett, that would be great. But he's on San Antonio, and I don't know who that player is. I mean, if Bobby does some crazy deal like the one we talked about a couple days ago for Walker Kessler, and all of a sudden we have him on our team, that may be worth doing. In some ways, I didn't want to talk about trade talk so early, but with a 1-4 record and how bad the Raptors look right now, in some ways there is a little bit more of an angst that, maybe Bobby, you need to make a trade as soon as you can because you need another center on this team. I mean,
and he better not touch RJ. Don't even move RJ. RJ better stay a Raptor.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm way more open to trading Emmanuel at this point. I'm way more open to trading Grady. I'm way more open to trading, I like Brandon, but in some ways, even moving Brandon to get somebody else in a different way, maybe, the smart move in some ways, even though Brandon in some ways is a caliber of player that we could really use and have on our team. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to trade Scotty or RJ. And then, there's other players that I kind of would like to hold on to too, like Jacoby and Colin. But
remember, Agbaji didn't sign an extension, so that's something to
yeah, but I mean, listen, if the team has a bad year this year, if they end up with less than 30 wins, or if they are not, if they are in the playoffs, maybe even, there may be some changes. And I hate to say it, but right now I have no leg to stand on to defend Darko. Darko is not showing me enough for me to say, yeah, Darko should not be fired. If he has a whole year that looks like what this is looking like right now, he will be fired this year. And that'll be the opposite of what I wanted for him this year, which is I wanted him to get Coach of the Year because the team just looks so good and he looks brilliant. But right now, you don't look brilliant right now, Rajakovic. And you and your staff need to get off your ass and start fucking fixing this shit. And if you know what, if your staff ain't doing their fucking job exactly right, Evo, Pat Delaney, Vin Bagnani, Marys, all y'all need to get off your ass and help your coach as soon as possible and do an extra special scout for Cleveland tomorrow and get a real game plan and bred it into the players' heads so they fucking look like they're doing something worthwhile to try and win. Sorry.
After a win, he has to handle after a win a little bit differently. The reason why I say that is you're at a level of professionalism.
Yeah.
You make it to the NBA. And Darko, when you win a game, I like that you came in, you were hyping up the players after that game.
That looks so bad now.
It doesn't look good because it looks immature. It's like, it's like, we gotta win, guys. We gotta win. Like, come on.
I know. He was excited, and maybe that was like the bad move at that time because we've got all this footage of him running around the locker room like swinging on his players. And pretty much since that moment, we've sucked. Like, seriously. Like, pretty much since that moment. What'd you do, Darko? Did you run in there and throw a bunch of windmills and haymakers at IQ and Scotty, and they fucking got scared, and now they're playing scared on the court? Like, what the fuck? Why'd you have to run in there and aggressive on them? Now they're scared like little mice on the court, not playing right.
I don't know. If you even look back is like the last two seasons, you look back, that celebration thing, as soon as he does it, it's like if he comes in with this no pass, good game, give the chain out, let the boys feel the energy. Okay, keep it solid. Let's get another one. But when the coach is coming in, flapping everybody running around the room and shit, and it's like, yo, you guys, it made it feel like we won the conference championship, and it's like we just won one game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a bit of an overreaction, but at the same time, I liked seeing the joy. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but now that it's the last time we failed a win, yeah, it does look bad in hindsight in some ways. And I don't get it, man. I really am suspicious of it quickly right now. Like, you've been hurt most of the time you've been in Toronto, and now you seem like you're playing half-ass. So, I mean, seriously, tighten up, Emmanuel, quickly, because I'm seriously watching you right now. And in some ways, that your decision making, look, I like your assist to turnover ratio. I love for you to take more threes and make them. I have no problem with those two things. I have a problem with your poor decisions and effort. And also, what the fuck, missing free throws, and also freeze if you're possibly freezing out people to the detriment of our team running right. That's no good too. That's no good too.
Hold on, take this in. I want to. I'm not trying to throw shade at IQ, but I just want to put a scenario out there. What's more important to you, your job or your friends?
Well, I mean, in some ways, I would say family and friends. Yeah.
Okay, friend. Okay. So now, with IQ, his best friend, what I would say his best friend, is
RJ.
Maxey. I would say it's more Maxey because remember they were college room buddies.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I think that in some ways, Emmanuel's really bonded to RJ, and he's his best friend. Quickly and Maxey are kind of a down low rivalry. Like, they're too similar to each other, and they get compared to each other so much. So in some ways, there's probably a little bit of disdain. I mean, they're close and they're friends, but also at the same time, it's a frenemies kind of thing, if you think about it, because they've been playing and battling each other in the Atlantic Division for years now. So,
right. And that's what I was trying to get at. Like,
sure.
I feel like we sort of, Emmanuel could be, because you just put it out there, like he could be doing us dirty on the low. We gave him a lot of money.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about.
He came from the Knicks, which was a rival team. We never liked the Knicks. We're never going to like the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So they're a rival team, and he came from there. Mind you, his friend plays for another rival team, which is the 76ers. We don't like the Sixers.
You know who he's more friends with, though? He's more friends with Tyler Hero.
Oh, he's actually another rival.
Because he's Kentucky, and they have a really strong friendship, Tyler and Emmanuel, more than I've seen with him and Maxey. But I'm not trying to make it sound like Emmanuel's trying to get out of the city. But if he is, well, Bobby, you may need to do that. Because if he's not committed to being here and he's not really feeling being a Raptor and his game is showing that, well, then fucking graduate Shed up and get a good big man for Quickly right now. Graduate Shed up because honestly, Shed has looked better than a Quickly out there running the team. He did last night.
I will agree. I agree with that. Because Quickly doesn't look. He's making some bad decisions. Like some of the passes, it's like, dude, you don't see the defender there. Like it's like, I don't know. We're paying him a lot.
It's not his strength, but he needs to concentrate on it, and it's effort, man. And it's effort. And I see his energy is just too like I don't care enough. Like he's way too casual. Like he's smiling and all this stuff, and we're fucking losing by 15. And it's not like he's got a fire lit under his ass like he's trying. Like seriously, that's the shit that's pissing me off right now. I can see effort at times from Scott. I can see effort from Brandon. I can see effort from RJ. And Quickly's a quick guy and he's all over the place. But at times I see him and he's just like, dude, you're not taking this seriously enough. Seriously.
Yeah.
I worry about that because if Chucky's good and Shed is ready, I wasn't about this because I want Quickly to become more like Maxey on our team. But if Quickly is not trying to do that with his career and he just wants to get a big check from us, I say you trade him, Bobby, and you get a big for him. And you graduate Jamal Shed to the starting lineup and you have Chucky Hepburn be his backup because Chucky's looking very capable on the second team. And you don't even need to replace Quickly in that hierarchy. You could just go get a big. And we don't even need to worry about moving any of the other guys out. Just go get a fucking big. Trade Emmanuel for Walker Kessler. And boom. Something shit like that. I'm not all about this. I want Emmanuel to get a chance to still do something about this. But Emmanuel, we're watching you, bro. And in some ways, you're not playing solid ball. And I could see one game or here, but pretty much this season so far, there's something off with you, bro. And I don't like it. And in some ways, Raptors fans have had a history of having players come here, get paid, and then they fucking loft it. And they fucking don't try anymore. Otto Porter, Olajuwon. You know, we don't need this shit from a young player that has a lot of potential still to grow. And if you're playing half-assed to fuck up this team so you get traded and you could be on another team, shame on you, Emmanuel Quickly. If you're doing that, you're messing with your life, you're messing with your friend RJ's, you're messing with Scotty's, you're messing with Bobby Webster's, you're messing with Darko's lives, all those people's lives, because you're fucking around with things. And we can't have that. We can't have that on the down low. I want to be wrong. I want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to believe this shit. Oh, Seymour, you want to see something real quick while I got you on the phone?
Like as soon as you said he was freezing out players, I had to call you because I never knew. Like I never heard that. So when you said that, I was like, wait a minute, that's crazy because he's the point guard.
You see what I got on?
Freezing out players.
Just real quick, Seymour.
The type of offense that Darko's trying to run, where the ball's moving, get it to the open guy, get the best looking shot. You know. And right now, our offense looks straight because it's like, come down, okay, run around, get the ball.
Seymour, I got the hoodie on, man.
You got the hoodie on?
Yeah, see it?
Hold on. Okay. No, you got to take the jacket. Those logo skeletons out. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Is it a glow in the dark?
I don't think so. I think it's just a graphic. But I agree with you, man. Like, listen, I just want him to be successful. I want you to score better, Emmanuel, because in some ways I'm sick of you getting in the teens. I'd rather you get over 20. And I just want to make sure that you're making the right decisions. In some ways, it's like, look, if you are not any of the things we're accusing you of, just go out there and show it, please. Because right now, a lot of the evidence that I'm reading from watching you is not on the total up and up quickly. And I don't like that. You know, freezing out people ain't ready.
Goga Bitadze from
Orlando. Yeah. He's a good player. And the cool thing is that he plays with Sandro. They're on the same team in Georgia. And they have a lot of time together. And he is a really good big who could do some of the stuff. But that means we had to trade with Orlando to get him.
Yeah, I would like that because then we could move down players. Wow, did that work? Because then you move Sandro, to a 4 spot?
Man, he's still got to be the backup big. We got to count him as a center because we can't be like having just one center. We've got to have 2 or 3 centers at least, Bobby. And this is where I'm blaming you, Webster, is because we didn't have center depth to deal with the Yak having a bad back. And now we're fucked. And right off from the bat from the beginning of the season, this is no good, man. This is no good, Bobby. And in some ways, it's like, I get you wanted to get the more talented player and that you don't like developing young players. But yeah, what Seymour said earlier about Common and the decision to go with Colin Murray Boyles instead. I mean, Colin looks great. Colin's going to be good. But you know what? He's another undersized position player that the Raptors have drafted in their history. And I'm sick of that shit. That's why I've always said I don't want to draft undersized because it seems like the NBA tries to put undersized people on our team somehow underhandedly. And I'm just like, Colin better play bigger than he is. Because seriously, we had Damon Stoudemire as our first ever draft pick, and he was an undersized player right from the start. We started picking undersized players left and right throughout the history of the Raptors at different times, and I'm sick of it. I want to have players that can see eye to eye, and sometimes, hey, we'd love to have a big dominant player like a Shaq or a fucking, Giannis or something like that. And we had something in Shamshe, but all of a sudden he's been ripped from us. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I mean, I'm just pissed off because our center position looked real good in the middle of summer. And now all of a sudden it looks like shit. And it's only 5 games in the season.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. New Orleans just signed DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. And a lot of these teams have like 4 centers right now. Like Houston's got Clint Capella, Steven Adams, Sengun. They got
New Orleans got Queen, they got Looney, they got DeAndre Jordan. There's big bodies everywhere. But
yeah, everybody's got like 4 guys, Jonas and Joker on the same team right now. It's like, what are we doing, Bobby? Read the room and figure it out. If we don't have a winning strategy as a small team, we're just fucked. And this year it will look really bad, and the rebuild will take steps back instead of steps forwards. And you're messing with your head coach's job because he may get fired for this. Seriously.
Portland got the Asian guy Yang. They got Klingon.
Yeah.
They got Williams who played.
Robert Williams. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like every team stacked up
It's a Western thing mostly. Like the East are a little smaller on most of the squads over here, but still, this is basketball 101. I don't give a shit if people are very skilled if they're little. I want big people because basketball is won with big people. You know?
Yeah, we gotta get big, man. We gotta.
Yeah. All right, Seymour. Let's do a fourth quarter and I'll start moving forward with some of the segments.
Is your 3 stars? Drop your 3 stars.
You want me to do the 3 stars right now? Okay, I'll do that real quick. All right, my number 1 star of the game today is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes had a diversity to his scoring. He was very efficient. 33 minutes, 31 points, 11 for 18 from the field, 4-7 from 3. Those kind of nights will happen from time to time, and well, they're great. They're great when he shoots that, but I get worried too when he makes the first couple. But no, he was pretty solid with the threes. They dared him, and he had a nice stroke and a nice swish and a good squared up. 5 of 6 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, no turnovers, which is fantastic. A -12. Scotty, in some ways, once again, my biggest criticism of him was standing around at times and watching the action go by him instead of being the action himself. And that to me is a problem. But I like the 5 rebounds. He led our team in rebounds with only 5, which is too bad. So he was trying to get after it. There was that one dunk putback that he had that was awesome. That showed second effort and him getting the ball. He misses a little shot, but he grabs it and he throws it down with 2 hands. That kind of stuff is good. I want you to follow shit up. I don't want you to give up on the first effort. This is the thing. The Raptors and other basketball teams like second, third, fourth effort. And we need you guys to go and do the second and third, fourth effort. Y'all are doing the first effort sometimes, but then you're half-assing after that and stopping on the effort. That's where part of the problem is with our team right now, is we're not getting second, third, and fourth effort in situations, especially in the rebounding situations. So that's a problem. My second star of the game is Brandon, and that's really because these 2 guys were carrying us offensively. Between the 2 of them, 60 points last night, 33 minutes, 29 points for Brandon, 11 of 16, another amazing shooting night. Those guys are really powerful. 5 for 7 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds for Brandon. You could do better than that, Brandon. You can get better than 2 rebounds, man. 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers for Brandon. So there's a little bit of not taking care of the ball exactly right. A -17 with 29 points. Yeah, Brandon Ingram is a really good scorer, and I love all that stuff. But there's, we need you to play all around, Brandon. We don't want you to have a 0 stat stuff. You need to go and get more stats there. 4 assists is cool, though. I like that. But yeah, Brandon's awesome. And in some ways, I want to see him carry us. I want to see him score because he's just like that. And you're right about the whole back and forth between him and Durant last night was kind of entertaining because they're very similar kind of players. And you saw them kind of going toe-to-toe for a bit there and making long shots. And you were right, too. Like, there was a moment where Kevin was like, damn, Brandon.
Yeah, I've seen it. Third star.
My third star is Colin Murray Boyles in his first start. Is this is a history, too. Is that, like, Colin is one of a handful of players to start in their first 3 games as a Raptor. And that's a good sign. It's people like DeMar DeRozan, Scotty Barnes, Damon Stoudemire, Jonas Valanciunas are on this list. And, that's good. In some ways, he wouldn't have gotten a start if Jock wasn't out, but that's a good sign. I felt like he was okay. He wasn't taking away from our team, although, he only got 1 rebound. 25 minutes for Colin, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, which is, once again, all 3 of those guys shot really good from 3, and I like that. But in some ways, we can't depend on that shit night in, night out. There's no way. Yeah, 2 assists for Colin, 0 turnovers, 13 points with -14. Yeah, he was solid. In some ways, he's built off of the last game that he did really well in. I didn't agree with starting him, though. I would have been happier if they started Jonathan or Sandro last night.
Right.
And, we saw that he made a bad rookie foul at one point, and it really fucked up the end of the first half. And in some ways, he was the catalyst for why the game turned sour. Is he had that one dumb foul on Sengun with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. That was a rookie dumb foul, and Jack called it out in the game when it happened. And after that, the Rockets went on a little run, and they ended up getting a 7-point lead at halftime, partly because of Collins' bad foul at that moment. So he's got a lot of rookie mistakes he has to go through still, and he's going to fuck us up. But he's a rookie. We got to understand that that's just part of the process. But yeah, overall, there's a lot of good stuff. And I just want him to continue to be aggressive and energy, because in some ways, Colin, even though you're a rookie and the young guy, you could be a good leader for the other guys to fucking get off their ass and try harder. Seriously.
Yeah. I agree with all the 3 stars in the same order. I got the same order.
Cool.
Another thing with Colin, I like the opportunity we're giving him. I wouldn't have put him at the starting position either, but I like the opportunity, because when you look back on the night he was drafted and he said fuck, I agree that he said fuck out of the moment, just like, damn, I got drafted. And a lot of people was like, oh, he doesn't want to go to Toronto. So now looking back at the starts that he's getting, the opportunity he's getting, we're giving him shots in the game and everything. It's like, we're giving him a chance. We're showing him, look, whether you want to be here or not, we're giving you a shot to play in the NBA. And I think he's holding in, and we see him progressing as the games go on. He's getting better. He's locking in. We can see it. He's getting confidence and everything. We need that to come more into guys like Jacoby, Grady. We need to see that type of confidence get into these guys.
Yeah.
I think too, that's the reason why he's making those plays. But I don't know if he doesn't, like you said, if he doesn't get his shit together, he might be on the move, man. For real though.
Who? Grady?
IQ.
Oh, IQ. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wasn't like with any of those people this summer that were criticizing his contract and what it is. But at this output and these results and what he's doing, he is not earning his contract right now. And in some ways, like, I can see him being in the middle of why our dysfunction's happening right now. Like, in some ways, he needs to figure it out with Darko and them. And you know, they need to do stuff, because in some ways we get in a much better run out there with order and like things going smoothly with Shed out there instead of Quickly. And that shouldn't be that way. Shed's in his 2nd year, and Quickly has been in this league for a while. Granted, he's been more of a combo guard, playing shooting guard, but still, man, he should understand the flow of stuff. And like I said, there's some ways he's playing too casual with his energy, and it seems like he's not giving a fuck. And I don't like that. That's not a good sign. Emmanuel, if you give a shit, you go out there tomorrow against Donovan Mitchell and them and show us. And, you know, prove me wrong. Seriously, if there's things I'm saying right now that any player don't like, I want y'all to prove me wrong. I don't want to be right. I want y'all to succeed. I want y'all to kick ass. I want y'all to win. I don't want to be a detractor. I don't want to be a negative ninny. I don't want to be criticizing. But when we have these results where the team is 1-4 like this, and the team is floundering, and it seems like they're drowning in the deep end, we got to try and get results, and we got to figure out how we get results better and what we do. Let's look at Quickly real quick, Seymour. 31 minutes, 5 of 11, 4 of 7 from 3. The 4 of 7 is great. 1 of 2 at the free throw line. See, I just don't like when he misses free throws. For some reason, it's like something's wrong there. 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers this time. A -13 with 15 points and 31 minutes. I mean, in some ways, the stat line isn't totally horrendous. It's just I'm looking at what I saw in the game that makes me feel the way I'm feeling, because I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, wow, that wasn't right there. And what is he doing? Why is he so lazy there? You know, it's kind of like, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at right now. So anyway, Seymour, it's been fantastic having you on the air. I hope that you're doing very well, and you have a fantastic Thursday. Anything you want to add right at the end here?
Yeah, I just want to ask you. So in the one game, you said 4 rebounds was the leading for our team.
Yeah, that was Colin last game.
5, and then this last game was 5, right?
Yeah.
So what's a magic number? What if you were in there with the guys in locker room? What's a magic number that you would want them to target to maybe give us a better shot at winning? Would you say someone
like I said,
8 rebounds, 9 rebounds?
You know what? If one of these guys wants to be a badass, I don't care who it is. It's just that they have to have the ability to go do this. If it's more likely it's a center, it's like Sandro or Jonathan, Or even Scotty. If you just want to sacrifice your offense for the night and just totally concentrate on rebounds, we need some people to do their Dennis Rodman impersonation.
Yeah, we need that.
And I don't care. I mean, Bobby, you could go and target a guy that just does rebounds. Go get a fucking Chuck Hayes. Go get an Amir Johnson. Just go get somebody that will go out there and clean up rebounding for us, because we need a rebounder.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we don't got that.
And I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right once we get a rebounder.
Well, we need at least that to stop the bleeding and just kind of reassess. Okay, is there more that we need to do to change the team? But that's the first thing we need to do right now, is just get some low post and rebound it right now. And Bobby, I'm watching you. And if you don't do something and we just keep going like this and we just continue to lose, and all of a sudden we got a 10-game losing streak, I'll be like, Bobby Webster, what the fuck are you doing with your job, man? You got an open roster spot. And in some ways, we're in trouble for the whole entire season, because you will set us up in a hole and we will have to try and climb out of it for the whole entire year. And in some ways, we will be a bad team if we don't get some fixing of this. Seriously.
Smells fishy. This could be what Rodgers wanted, though. Remember who owns the team. This could be what Rodgers wanted.
Yeah, and thank God the Blue Jays won last night. In some ways, the Blue Jays may be taking more of the spotlight in some ways from the Raptors in the city if they win the championship, which it looks like they will. And I mean, I'm not upset at that. In some ways, I want winning around the city of Toronto, and Blue Jays Nation deserves this. I'm in it. And you know what? They're not like Leaf Nation. They're not going to be cocky and full of shit. And when they celebrate this, it'll be a beautiful thing. And I'll be very, very happy when the Blue Jays win the World Series. I'm hoping they will. I'm pretty sure they will. And, in some ways, you're exactly right. Ed Rodgers will be happy because this will be his crown jewel is the Blue Jays in some ways, because he's had them the longest. But, yeah, I mean, in some ways, if he wants the Raptors to be bad so that their popularity goes down, in some ways, yeah, maybe he doesn't want the Raptors to do well. Seriously.
Yes, looking fishy, but I gotta run.
All right, Seymour, I thank you for taking some time today to call me in on the reaction stream. 4 quarters with Seymour Pape.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, man. All right, he's out. Thanks for calling. Calgary is in the house calling us today. Good to hear the sheriff, the city slicker, Seymour Pape. If you guys have the number from being a part of the show from the past, you can call me in too. Power 3035 has sent a super chat to me. Appreciate the $5 super chat. So I'll read it immediately right now in priority. Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes are our stars, but it seems like IQ seems to ignore these players when they're hot. I'm tired. I've seen this take place in the third and fourth quarter. This is who brought this up before, was Power. And this is why, all right, in some ways, when Power brought this up before, I was kind of like, I don't want to believe it. I'm going to give Emmanuel a little bit of chance to, prove Power wrong. But there's more evidence from last night that proves that Power may be right about this assessment about Emmanuel and how he's directing water on the court as far as the point guard and freezing people out and maybe just not going to certain people. I think you're exactly right. And this is a huge thing. It's like I've had a criticism, and this is not necessarily a Brandon. This is a criticism that we're not finding Brandon in late in the game situations where he should be doing what he's supposed to be doing. Like, seriously, those game situations late where we need to make baskets, Brandon's money. We've seen it. He's money. We can print all game. He's like a counterfeit machine. We can print money off him to get points. We don't have a problem with points right now. We have a problem with defense and rebounding. The problem last year was points. We had great defense. But we have no problem with points at this point, but we're not going to the guys who get the points to carry us home in certain ways at the end of the game. But if we can't get stops, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I think you're right. Brandon should be found by the point guards late for sure. And Scotty too. Jacoby, Grady. These 4 guys in some ways need more scoring opportunities from our point guards. And in some ways, they're not getting set up right. Now, is it because IQ's not a true point guard? He's a combo guard? Maybe. Is it because he's doing some weird nefarious shit on the down low? Maybe. I hope not. Jamal Shed is more of a classic point guard. In some ways, he reads the team needs. Maybe he reads that maybe Grady needs something. So I'm going to go and get Grady hooked up real quick. That's the classic point guard in the NBA, John Stockton. That's the classic point guard. In some ways, the point guard is the engine. The point guard is the one who kicks other people into gear to get going and get some points, and everybody gets involved. In fact, that was the job of Jason Kidd and Steve Nash, was to get people that are teammates that are maybe not going so well to focus on them and get the ball to them so they will score. And in some ways, I worry about that part of Emmanuel's game as far as recognizing who needs some water poured on their flower so that it will grow. Because in some ways, he's not doing that right. He's not doing that right. And it's a problem. I appreciate your super chat once again, Power. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Where am I in the chat here? Wow. Did I lose a bunch of comments? Because I don't remember this all being. I think that there was a bunch of stuff from James at the top. Because it looks like it just took away like half the comments at the top. This is weird, man. Oh, well. I apologize, James, for not getting to your comments at the top. If there's Trevor J or anything, it's got Smooth at the top at this point. So, yeah, that's a problem. All right, Smooth saying Scotty Barnes has to clean his act up, man. It's pissing me off. Yeah, see, you set the tone, Scott. In some ways, like, look, you're the one of the leaders. You know, you don't have Fred and Pascal and those guys around anymore. And you're one of the leaders. And in some ways, the way you carry yourself, the way you do things, it kind of leads to the team. And if you're being a certain way, like seriously, the Bush League shit, you can't do this. You're a vet now. That's good for young rookies that are knuckleheads that don't know better. But in some ways, you can't do this shit. It really is pervasive. It comes down and it's a level of unprofessionalism that filters through. And in some ways, that's a problem. You know, they kept showing Fred on the bench last night. Fred VanVleet, great Raptor. In fact, Fred apparently is going to stick around in Toronto for the next couple of days. He's not traveling with the Rockets to leave. He's going to stay in Toronto and go to the Blue Jays World Series game tomorrow night. Yeah, he's like that for Toronto. Fred is going to stick around and wants to be around the Blue Jays just in case they win the World Series because he wants to celebrate with them. Now, Fred, at the end of the game, was sitting there with Kevin Durant, and Alperen, and he was talking about what was happening on the court. And I can tell you pretty much what Fred VanVleet was saying. He's probably saying stuff like, you know what? I was on this team with Scotty. I saw how Scotty is. And in some ways, I'm not surprised that this is the stuff that's happening right now with leadership on this team. They have no goals. They have no direction. They're not playing right at all. Now, Fred, when he was on our team, even with his detractors saying all this bullshit about him, he was a leader. And he made our team work a certain way as a leader. And we had a fight in us. And we had a different way we did things that we were always competitive and trying, even if we were outmatched. Now, right now, the most dismal thing to me is the Raptors are rolling over and accepting being a shitty team and not getting out there and trying hard enough throughout the whole game. That's the thing that's pissing me off. Now, if Fred was still on this team and he was still leader for our team, like he is for the Rockets, he wouldn't have this shit happening. And in some ways, I could totally understand what Fred's saying to Durant and Sengun on the bench. It's like, yeah, I was on this team. And I'm not surprised this shit is happening to the Raptors right now. Because honestly, I saw how Scotty is as a professional, and he's immature, guys. I'm going to say this right now. I'm not sure Fred could say this. And he would have the experience to know this is true. And this is what young Raptors fans need to realize. Y'all may have been mad at Fred because of this and that or whatever bullshit Pansier was saying. But Freddie had the treasure map, and he knows how to win, and he knows how to help basketball teams win through leadership. And in some ways, we need that kind of leadership on our team more than ever right now. Seriously. Jamal Shed, hello, wake up. You could be that guy in some ways, even as the second point guard. Because if there's not this kind of stuff happening, I mean, RJ, can you do something? In some ways, I'd love for you to step up and be more of a leader for our team. A leader by example, a leader by heart, a leader by passion, a leader by effort. Because in some ways, Scott, you're not leading this team correctly right now. You're not leading it with the right defensive energy. You're not leading it with the right rebounding energy. You're not leading it with the right non-Bush League acting bullshit energy. Seriously. This is a problem. This is a problem. Kareem Thomas saying, is Orlando Robinson on the current roster of the G League team? I would like him to circle back. He would have had great progress in year 2 with the Raptors. Such a sad casualty. No, he's on a two-way with the Magic. He is fully on the Magic. He's playing for their G League team and for their regular team. So he's a two-way. Him and Castleton are both two-ways on that team now. They are both locked up with Orlando and on two-ways. They are not available. Not available. Seymour saying this, let's run with the Jays moment. Keep the vibes high. Our boys need us just as much as we want to see them win. Keep it Raptor Freak. There you go. I like this. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to see the World Series come back to Toronto. And we got one more game, and then we'll see. Hey, ho, let's make the most of a beautiful day off. Tomorrow they'll come back to Rogers Center and hit off. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be the third World Series win for the Toronto Blue Jays? Woo! Hello, neighbor. Yes, I've switched gears for a second to talk about the excellence of the Blue Jays, a little oasis in the sad world of the Raptors horror haunted house show. Nah, we're going to talk some Blue Jays. At least the Blue Jays are doing this. In some ways, thank you, Toronto Blue Jays, for distracting Raptors fans from the misery of the Raptors basketball team. We need this. In some ways, you guys will make everybody feel good. And hopefully in the shadows, Darko can fix all this shit and we can fucking start winning again in time after this is all over. We'll have a World Series hangover, hopefully. I'm not going to get my chickens counted before they hatch. We do need to win one more game still, guys. So, yeah, if we do this, this will be good. So, yeah, all right. Neil's calling me now, guys. We got Blackhawk on the air. Hello, Blackhawk. You're on the Raptor Freak reaction stream. How are you today?
Good, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm coping. In some ways, you know, this is what we do on game days, days after games where we lose. We do therapy session, right?
We do therapy session. That's right, man. And just to be there with you guys, man, I can't totally dump on my Raptors, man. I'm sorry if I can't dump on them.
I appreciate
but there's things that are happening that I'm seeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Darko cannot fix everything in one day.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are so vented up that we don't realize that we're trying to get an immediate answer. There's no such thing as an immediate answer. It has to happen gradually. And you have to be able to see when those things are happening gradually with those players, right? Like I'm looking at quickly, he has changed. It's not enough, but he has changed.
What do you mean? How has he changed?
When you look at quickly, he was not coming through on his shooting, and that's what you need him for. You need him to shoot, right?
Yeah.
Quickly, when you look at the beginning of this season, that wasn't so great, and everybody was wondering, like, what's going on? His shooting is coming back. Okay. That's coming there, right? So I'm going to give him that. I'm going to also look at, I don't want quickly taking too many shots, because if you have Scotty and you have Brandon there, the bulk of the shots need to go to them. So quickly is not up in the 17s, the 20s, or anything like that. That's good to me. So if they can keep this guy,
you mean shot attempts or points?
Yes, yeah. I want him around. Okay, 11 is good.
What do you mean, shot attempts or points?
10. Shot attempts.
Oh, shot attempts. Okay, so 11 around 11 shot attempts. You think is good for him?
Most. The most. I don't want to give him any more than that. Right?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But
no. But follow me here, right? Because it's the other guys who really need more of the attempts. And what I really want to see from him is those assists come up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the rebounding is not just quickly. It's the whole damn team.
Oh, for sure.
When we look at that, and when we look at that team, so you have to now go through it and say, what is the coaching staff doing that rebounding is so far off the needle? You know what I mean? It's off the map.
It's not even the coaching staff, though. This is an effort problem, Blackhawk. This, people were discussing this on Discord last night. They were talking about on Discord last night. Is this a coaching problem? Is this a strategy problem? No. The problem that's happening right now is our players are lazy right now.
Okay. Go back to when Pascal Siakam was here.
Yeah.
What was Pascal doing every time that ball went up?
What do you mean?
Every time the ball went up when the players were shooting at the hoop, what was Pascal doing?
You just tell me. Just tell me.
Every time it went up, Pascal kept on saying rebound.
Okay.
And he would try to get it, or he was trying to encourage members to do it.
Okay.
Have you seen that since Pascal has left?
Well, all right. That's a weird, like, special specific
what I'm
thing.
Saying is,
no,
Pascal was saying the coach was encouraging him to rebound, and he in turn was vocalizing what he was told.
Right.
But also ensuring that the other players were rebounding.
Well, this is why I'm saying that it's on the leadership of our team right now, because Siakam showed good leadership at that time. What I'm saying is that Brandon, Scotty, Emmanuel, and RJ need to be more vocal leaders. They need to be more leaders by example. And in some ways, Scotty the most, because he has the most talent and ability to go and do this stuff. And there was a certain level of Scotty going all out and doing this stuff in past years, but he's not doing it exactly right now, is what I'm saying.
Right,
now, if he's using too much of his mind and his energy to worry about his scoring because people were so nitpicky about it in preseason, I say, fuck that scoring, Scott. Don't listen to the critics that are saying you need to go get 30 and this and shit. No, fucking get back to OG's work, which is your defense first, and fucking shutting down the other team and getting the rebounds, because that is what our team needs the most right now, Scotty. And you do not, I don't give a shit if you score, because we got Brandon and RJ that can score for us. If you just focus on being beef stew in Toronto right now, Scotty Barnes, I'll be so happy with you right now.
Right, but just remember, the coach was putting it on Pascal to do it, because Pascal said it was the coach was on him.
Yeah, right. But so I mean, this is just basic basketball. People should know you need to go and try and rebound. This is like part of the game. That's the thing that pisses me off. It's like it's the bread and butter. You guys cannot win. There's no building blocks with winning if you don't fucking rebound.
But think about it, right? And this is why Precious is not in the league right now. Okay, if you're not one of those glorified scorers, rebounding should be the next best thing you do, because you can become my guy who's now on 76ers. I'm forgetting his name. Drummond. Remember, Drummond was a rebounding machine on Cleveland, if I remember correctly.
On a lot of teams, Detroit mostly.
Right. Oh, right. But what my point being is, if you're not a big ass scorer, the next best thing is rebounding. Like, just be positionally ready to get it. Right. So I'm looking at the guys like when Mobile was on there last night and he was playing. It's not that he didn't box out. He was just not.
Mobile wasn't out there long enough to talk about.
No. But a rebound came there that he lost, that he should have got, is what I'm pointing out. By position alone, right? This is what these guys have to understand. And that if I'm going to make it in this NBA, and if I can't be the number one scorer, I've got to be the number one rebounder. Have that built into you.
This is what they need to do. And Jack and Matt were talking about it on the show last night. They need to do that coin drill. They need to do some rebounding drills. They need to do more of a workshop with the players to reorganize them on how you do basketball rebounding fundamentals. They need to teach them, again, find your man and box out. They need to teach them about positioning and getting in between the player and the basket. They need to teach them about tracking shots and trajectory and the geometry of rebounding that Dennis Rodman mastered. They need to go to the school of Rodman. They need to fucking go and remember this is a basic thing in basketball that y'all have all had to do throughout your careers. And I don't give a shit if you're a center or a point guard. Everybody's got to chip in and do their part when it makes sense. And part of the problem is it really is effort. The balls have been bouncing into the mid-range off of rebounds, and nobody's anywhere near them. Meanwhile, the other teams are quicker to go get it than we are. And that is not a calling card of the Raptors from last year or this preseason, that we would be the team that's left in the dust to go get 50-50 loose balls. And that's the biggest difference right now, is that our guys are standing around watching the game happen instead of making the game happen themselves. And until they get up off their ass and start going to get it, they're going to continue to lose. And in some ways, it's not just getting the rebounds, it's getting to that position to box out so you can stop people. It's getting to that spot before they come to their basket to try and score on us, to get impediment of stopping them. You know, there's all kinds of things they're losing assignments on. And in some ways, it's so bad, the amount of assignments they're losing, that how do they even start in the tape room when they go over the game the next day? Because in some ways, they're fucking up on almost every play down on defense. And they're not doing any kind of seal or stopping the other teams in these last 4 games. And it's really dismal and scary because this shit, like you guys said, it's not going to happen overnight. No, it could happen overnight if we hire the right person to come in and fix some of this shit, or just one of the guys who's existing on the team takes the initiative to say, I'm going to fucking start sacrificing my game like Dennis Rodman did to go and just take care of this kind of shit. Because if you have one Dennis Rodman on your team, he could go get all the fucking rebounds. He can go play top level defense. And that's the problem. Scotty, you're advertised as you want to be one of the best defenders in the league. You ain't nowhere near on the OG scale, bro.
Yeah, but you calling out Scotty, but look at your next center on the team, and you only got one rebound. Well, that's crazy.
I'm just saying, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just general defense.
Yeah, I know, but there's only one 7-footer on the team, and that 7-footer is not even getting enough rebounds out there.
That's crazy. But I'm talking about defense right now. See, defense and rebounding can be different. I'm talking about if Scotty wants to be one of the best defenders in this league, he has to be better at stopping people because he's not stopping anybody right now.
Well, the entire team needs to be better at stopping because if you don't,
If you want to be in the defensive player of the year, you could be one single man in a bad defensive team and still stop people individually one-on-one. He's not doing that.
That Mavericks game was lost because we couldn't get enough stops.
Last night was lost because we didn't get enough stops. If we got more stops at the end of the game and we started scoring, we could have won the game last night. We were within 10 at times.
Last night was cannonballing out. The last night was totally different than the Mavericks.
No. Listen. The shots that the Rockets were making last night were layups and walking to the basket. That's what I'm saying. Right. You stop that shit.
They were bullying.
No, listen. The Rockets aren't that good. I'm going to say this next. The Rockets are not going to be a good team this year.
We got to stop saying
no. Listen to me. Listen, Neil. Listen to me. The reason why the Rockets aren't going to be that good is they have huge flaws with their team. In fact, they're lucky they played us last night to get that win. If they were playing most other NBA teams last night, they would have got their ass kicked. Seriously.
The only reason I keep on saying I'm going to keep on saying we got to stop saying that is you got to play who's in front of you. And who's in front of you will roll.
I know, but this is totally separate. In some ways, once again, we're talking about totally different things. I'm talking about I assessed the Rockets from seeing them last night for the season, and they have some huge problems. And part of it is they don't have enough guards. And in some ways, what they're doing is not sustainable for the season. They're going to lose way more than they win.
Some of our guards for some of their taller.
No, all right. You're just going into weird tangents and stuff like that. Well, Neil, I appreciate your call. Let's wrap it up because I don't want to go too long. Seriously. Yeah. But let's just wrap it up. One last final point.
The other one I'm going to say, right?
Sure.
Okay, the way Grady is playing, it's not helping him.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's playing is because you're trying the most difficult thing instead of saying, hey, look, let's keep it simple. Let's just start with just trying to shoot and get open for the shot. Get open. Forget about this movement shooting. This movement shooting is more difficult than anything. You should always try for the easiest one first and then go for the more complicated one after, is what I'm trying to get at.
This is what I think Grady should be.
Ones.
Yeah. Those are good ideas, but this is what I think his itinerary should be. If you get open, make the damn shot. That's it. If he gets open, he makes a damn shot. If he has to go into motion and he has, because this is the one thing he's supposed to be good at. The one thing he's supposed to be good at is making shots no matter what. That is the one thing he has to fucking do.
Open. That's what I'm trying to point out to you is perfect that technique first. This is why when you look at Battle's having a little bit more success than him, because Battle is more focused on getting open and taking the shot as opposed to
First of all, Grady is getting shadowed and guarded totally different. He's very respected for his shot. He does not get open shots very easily.
He's got to learn to get over, do a step back.
All right. I don't want to go over this too much. This is such a minute little like.
No. I'm just saying he needs to perfect at that first. That is the best way to success as opposed to
we want Grady to make his open shots. That's what I'm saying here. That's all that I fucking care about this shit.
I want him to be successful. And that means growing techniques. It's not just
all right. You didn't let me finish the list. The first thing is I want him to make open shots. The second thing is I want him to play effort and all out and energy otherwise.
Right.
That's it. Those two things, if he does those things, if he gets rebounds, if he can play some somewhat passable defense and guard his guy, That's all I'm asking. If he has the opportunity to put the ball on the floor and make a drive, I know the refs aren't respecting you and you're not getting any calls, Grady, and you're going to the floor. Well, that's tough, hard knocks, fucking NBA. In some ways, they're not going to bail you out. So you better make sure you make the layup and not expect to get to the line, because there's been a few possessions where you drive, you get hit to the ground, and the referee ain't blowing shit, and they rebound and they go the other way. So if you're going to do that move, you better make sure you make it, is what I'm saying. Or
learn to kick
out. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Neil, I appreciate it. I'm lively this morning.
I'm not trying to dump on Grady. I'm trying to say what will get him more success.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, he needs to make his open shots. That's the most important thing. And then he needs to be hustling and playing all out. If he does those things, if he puts effort, I'll give him a check. And I'll be like, yeah, thank you, Grady. You're doing fine. Yeah. He didn't have a good game last night, but in some ways, he missed an open shot and, he made one layup or something like that. That's all he did. So it's just a tough game for Grady. But either way, I don't want to micromanage Grady too much right now.
He did take shots. I just think it's difficult.
They didn't give him the ball very often, honestly. Yeah. Like if I'm looking at this sheet, he was 1 for 6, 0 for 3 from 3. See, that's what I'm saying. He needs to make one of those threes at least. He did have 3 rebounds.
That's my point.
He was a +2 and he had 4 points.
But also the team's got to set him up for those open shots, right? Because think about it.
Now we're getting back to what I said earlier, okay? Yeah. That IQ was freezing him out in some ways. Anyway, Neil, I got to go, man. I got to go. But I appreciate you calling in, man. I don't mind doing these calls, but I only want them to be like 15, 20 minutes at the longest. I don't want them to be too long.
Later.
But I appreciate you, Neil. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, all right, man.
And Blue Jays.
And Blue Jays. That's right. Let's get that World Series. That'll make everything feel better, honestly. Oh, Neil, I love you, man. Thank you, bro. All right. Let me get back into the comments and moving along here. RJ had 2 steals last night. All right, let me go look at RJ real quick. Let me go look at RJ on the stat sheet. RJ was 33 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 10 points. He got hurt at one point. RJ got a little banged up, and he had to leave, and he wasn't on the court for a little while, but then he came back later. We can't expect RJ to have big, huge games every night, but he wasn't totally that great. He had the worst plus minus on the court, but he was a little bit limited in his time out there. Let's see, going into the bench, Sandro Mamu, 16 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 10 points. Yeah, Neil's right. In some ways, Sandro should have more than 1 rebound. Jonathan, only 7 minutes at the end of the game, pretty much. 1 offensive rebound and an assist. That's it. Oshai, 7 minutes, 1 point off of 1 free throw, and that is it, really. Oshai, really bad. Nothing there. Jamal, 19 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, made both his threes. They were nice. He was talking shit to Kevin Durant, and that was fun. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 6 points for Jamal. It just looked like they were running smoother and more organized when Jamal's out there. Jacoby, solid, even though he only got 2 points. Jacoby was a +7, which was the best plus minus on the team. His defense is very good. He's one of the few guys who's playing defense correctly right now. And in some ways, I like Jacoby a lot in this situation. I, in fact, want him to see his minutes and role increase right now, Jarko, because he's one of the guys that's actually doing things right now on both ends of the court. He's just not doing anything on offense because he's not getting chances to. But I see him getting in there, mixing up for rebounds. I see him playing his defensive assignment very well. He's one of the few bright spots, even though he's not producing a whole lot. Grady, tough game. 20 minutes, 1 of 6, 0 of 3 from 3, 2 of 3 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 points. In some ways, I like what Neil's saying about Grady, but part of the problem is Grady has a confidence problem to a degree right now. Like, he needs to have total confidence in his shot and making it. And like I said, Grady Dick, man, you miss wide open shots. That looks really bad. You need to be as automatic as possible. And even missing free throws don't look right with you, bro. You should be a 90% free throw shooter. These are your strengths that you need to have to be in this league. If you don't have this shit, you might not be in the league, Grady. So you better make your open shots and your free throws And if you can go get rebounds, you might get on my list up higher, because that's the thing I'm looking for right now. I put a bounty on rebounds for the Raptors team, and any of the players can collect. So go on and get the rebounds, and you'll get good with the Raptors streak. Honestly, Jamison didn't play. I don't totally agree with that. In some ways, Jamison's been one of the more solid Raptors recently, and maybe I would have played him instead of other people. Alas, the Raptors could not get the win for Jonathan Mobo on his 24th birthday. And I even wrote Scott that message. I was like, Scotty, make sure y'all win tonight for J-Mo. Seriously, do it for Jonathan. It's his birthday. Give him a present and win. On the other side, Kevin Durant, 31 points, 11 and 19 shooting, with 5 rebounds and assists and 3 blocks even too, a plus 20. Jabari Smith Jr. impressed me, man. He had threes going, and he also had some nice mid-range going. He's really playing well right now with 25 points for them, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block on 8 of 16 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3. Sengun, just a solid all-round center for them, plus 24 with 18 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, just missing out on a triple-double, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Yeah, and then Amin Thompson was tough too with 18 points on 7 of 13 shooting, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. These guys racked up so many rebounds, like Steven Adams with 12 and 12. You know, it's crazy. The rebounding totals compared to ours, so anemic. So somebody's got to dedicate themselves to Oliver Miller work, the Reggie Evans work, the Charles Oakley work, the Kevin Willis work. Somebody's got to go do it. Who's going to fucking go be the rebounder? Scotty? In some ways, you're the most skilled guy. And if you just sacrifice everything to be Dennis Rodman for a little while with the Raptors, we may actually win some games, because it's not about scoring points, Raptors casual fans. It's not about scoring points. Can you see how important rebounding and defense is to win in the NBA now? Can you see it? And when you don't have rebounding and defense, there's no fucking way you can win games. Yeah. Yeah. So everybody who put overimportance on 3-point shooting and offense, you see where we're at now. We need more fucking defense at this point. We have the shooting. We have the scores. We just don't have the stopping the other team from scoring ourselves. That's right. The rebounding is killing the team. G is right. MJ saying this. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Our defensive efforts are garbage. Not everyone, as Lex said, but most of them put in no effort. Yeah. Yeah, Jacoby, you get a pass. I see you working out there. Yeah, I do. I see you, RJ, going above and beyond what you normally do on defense. He's working hard. I can see it. But some of these other guys, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. And Emmanuel, when you just stand there and watch the action go by around you, you should be quickly there to do whatever is needed. Go collect that loose ball. I've seen people knock the ball loose, and Emmanuel's just standing there, and the ball's sitting next to him loose, and he could have gone and grabbed it, but he just watched it. Like, seriously, what the fuck are you doing, Emmanuel? Like I said earlier, the Raptors defense is predicated on a 2-part system: a deflection, a finger on something, and then somebody going to get the loose ball after it's out and loose. If the ball gets deflected out of bounds or it hits off the other team, we get it that way. That's great. But if the turnover is in the middle of the floor and the ball's not going out of bounds, the second person needs to come get it. Jacoby Walter's been very good at this at times. Paying attention, seeing a teammate get a hand on a ball and the ball's loose, all of a sudden Jacoby's reacting. He's hitting the floor and he's going to get that extra possession for us off a turnover. Where's the other persons on the team that are going after and getting after it on the floor to get those deflected balls that are starting to be a turnover on the other team, but they don't fully become turnovers because we're lazy and watching the ball. They just recover the ball. The other team recovers the ball. We get that work, that deflection. We get some sort of good start, but they're not following through with the second action to get the ball because the other guy's standing around watching instead of fucking hitting the floor like Jacoby Walter would. Is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Neil, thank you for calling me again, man. I appreciate that. Fiercely saying now more than ever, we see how Orlando Robinson could have helped us. He could totally help us right now. But for some reason, the Raptors aren't allowed to have centers. Bobby Webster, prove me wrong. Do something. You know, call up one of the guys from 905. I don't care. Bring in Olivier Sarr. Maybe he can help. Probably not. Is there anybody out there? It's defensive oriented. It's too bad the Spurs went and got Biyombo already. I would say go get Bismack. Bismack could have helped us with this shit. Seriously.
It's crazy. G saying, now I don't complain about head office often, but over the years, why have they not solved this center issue? They have had players like Orlando. Why not keep them and develop them or save them until grad? Until grad? I don't know what that means. I know. And we've had pretty decent people come through, but we don't keep them for some reason. I don't fucking understand this either. In some ways, Bobby Webster, I'm coming at you today. And I'm not blaming Masai. Masai's gone. Masai ain't got nothing to do with this. In some ways, would we do better if Masai was still around? I don't know. Bobby, it's your show, man. It don't look good. It don't look good. In some ways, this is the worst the Raptors have looked in the last 5 years right now. Seriously. I'm going to say that. In some ways, this is the worst the Raptors have looked in the last 5 years. And that's including Tampa. Seriously. Because there's some real fundamental problems here of things that would normally be just basically for sure with the Raptors. That's effort and playing out and playing good defense and rebounding that is not there all of a sudden in the worst way. That I haven't seen it like this since expansion days. I haven't seen it like this since Bosch days. Seriously, this is like Bosch shit. Bosch and Bargnani, horrible rebounding team that got out-rebounded all over the place. This is a similar kind of thing. We couldn't win around that time. Because if you can't rebound, you can't blocks out, you can't win. That's a basic fundamental of basketball. Seriously, it's messed up. Fiercely saying, I'll give a pass to Brandon. He was targeted to be a bucket and has delivered. But defense matters. But looking at preseason games, others had to take care of that part. Our defensive identity has plummeted. Yeah, the NBA is just showing that it's a tougher league, and our defense isn't up for stuff. It's not up to the par of what it needs to be successful and win in this league. I was hoping it would be because it was the one thing we had a strength in last year. I was more worried about our offense. But now I see that I'm wrong. I should have been more worried about our defense. I don't know why I believed in our team last year at the end of the season. Is it really that much different having Colin Murray-Boyles and Brandon Ingram in the lineup other than what we had last year? Like, seriously, is it that the teams were really shitty that we played last year at the end of the season? Then that's why they look so good at defense? What is this issue here? And how are we going to solve it, Bobby? That's the big question right now. That's the big question right there. G saying, I know you can't watch the Blue Jays, but the Raptors need that energy. They not only love each other, they play hard, all have heart, and the vets like Max fill them with energy and spirit. That's good. And that's why they're a team of destiny. And that's why hopefully this team will be World Series champions in the next few days. Yeah. Listen, I'm worried about this. One of the things that has been solid throughout the history with Darko so far is the team not turning on each other. Now, we're in a bad place right now where I could see this team on the download turning on each other in a way that they haven't done in a few years. And in some ways, I don't want that. In some ways, I was a little suspicious with all the talk before the season of how much this team is together. And when you have to protest it so much, that means something's weird. In some ways, you don't need to say this shit if it's just like that. And them saying, oh, this. If you guys are really that connected, y'all need to circle the wagons, get on the same page, and fix this together as a group. If y'all are splintering because there's different people that aren't getting along on the down low, and this team isn't totally together, Raptors, y'all need to fix your shit. Because I'm not having this shit, wasting another year and being a bad team. We need to fucking fix this shit and go to the playoffs this year. And right now, we're getting off on the wrong foot at the beginning of the season. So if there is any kind of bullshit between people on this team, it needs to go away. And y'all need to work it out together and fix this shit together as a team. Because if y'all don't, it takes every single one of y'all to recommit to rebounding. All y'all need to do it as a team. If I have one of y'all just do the Dennis Rodman impersonation, that's great. But in some ways, we need all y'all to commit to the rebounding. And, Emmanuel, I'll give you props. You've been a good rebounding guard for us this year. In fact, you've been one of the better rebounders on our team so far this year. And in some ways, I appreciate you for that. But other guys need to step up and get more rebounds and do more of that work. That's just so essential and important right now. That's it. Raptors champ saying, G, you're right. They've been ignoring that center spot. I don't understand why this has been happening this way. I mean, it really went downhill once Serge and Mark left. at that 1 year after the bubble. And we haven't really had the right centers on our team since Serge and Mark left. Now, I thought we'd have a better situation. If Yak was healthy, Yak with Sandro is a good combination. But without Yak, we see just how weak and bad we are. Seriously, this is awful, Bobby. And in some ways, you ignoring depth at the center position or fooling yourself into thinking Scotty should be on that depth or fooling yourself into thinking that Jonathan Mobo is a true center is fucking us up. Seriously, I don't give a shit about how this league is. Obviously, the trend is in some ways to have big lineups all of a sudden. And we're caught on the outside looking in without a big lineup that we can match up with them. And this is old school basketball. This is why George Mikan was the most important player in the NBA in the beginning, because he was the biggest, baddest man in the league, and he dominated for the Minneapolis Lakers. And in some ways, the big guys always win in the NBA. Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, Akeem Olajuwon. Yeah, the big guy always wins. Wembanyama. So in some ways, we ain't got no battle with no big guys on our team. We're fucked. We're fucked. We got Yak, and that's that. We're fucked. And you need to fix this, Bobby Webster. You need to fix this. That's right. G saying getting Yak was awesome. They tried with Koloko and Shamshe, but I felt that center backup spot or shared with Yak should have been and needs to be a priority. Yes. And that's why we're like fucking draft Common. Seriously. I mean, in some ways we do look like, damn, why didn't we get Common? Because Common seems like he's doing all right in Phoenix. Seriously. So it's like, what the fuck, Raptors? Seriously, what the fuck? Is there a conspiracy against us having centers on our team by the NBA? I feel like that might be true. I feel like that might be true. That in some ways there's an underlying Canada tax that the NBA says, Raptors, you're not allowed to have more than one legitimate center on your roster. This is just the rules we have for you on the down low because we govern you and we don't want a second NBA championship for you ever. And we're going to give you secret rules that you have to fucking play against that nobody else knows about publicly. And Bobby Webster can't get the center because he's not allowed by the NBA. I don't know. This is the kind of shit when there's a mystery and you don't know exactly what's going on, you make up conspiracy theories. And in some ways, I'm not going to say that's true what I said, but why the fuck can't we do this? It seems like that's an easy fix in GMing. Go get fucking Bol. Fucking A, Bobby Webster. Quit fucking around with our lives and wasting the Raptors' time, messing with Darko's career, fucking with Scotty's time. Fucking get a team for them to be successful, Bobby, because in some ways you didn't build a team that's successful for the Raptors. It looks real good in certain ways, but there's a glut at the 2 and the 3, and maybe you need to trade somebody to get another center if you have to do that. Seriously, figure this out. Walker Kessler's on the market is what I'm saying right now. You need to do something, man. You need to do something. That's right. G saying even someone to take the starting role with Yak as a backup doesn't matter as long as that position is solidified and with the pipeline. It just needs depth. It just needs depth. And we don't need a 6'9" guy playing center. Seriously, it just needs depth. Smooth saying this, when there was a legitimate shot to get Giannis from the Bucks, I wish the Raptors just bit the bullet and traded Scotty. But no, the ship has sailed. I really hope that Barnes starts playing like a leader. I thought you were going to say when there was a legitimate shot to get Giannis, we should have just fucking kept Serge and Mark instead of cutting them loose to try and get Antetokounmpo. That was the fuck up in some ways. Seriously, Masai gambled to loosen things up just in case to try and get Giannis to come to Toronto, and we lost Ibaka and Gasol for it. And in some ways, that wasn't the right move at that time. That was a fuck up because we weren't going to get Giannis, and that was not a sure thing. And in some ways, we had 2 Hall of Famer kind of sure thing guys playing for us, and they fucking went elsewhere, the LA Clippers and Lakers. Seriously, that may be a fuck up there. I don't think we could have gotten Giannis in the last couple of years for Scotty. I don't think the Giannis sweepstakes have actually been open recently. In fact, Giannis told everybody the other night when he beat New York, fuck New York. This is my hometown. I play for Milwaukee. And in fact, his energy is the kind of energy I want to see more of the Raptors having right now, saying, look, I have pride for my team and I'm going all out and I'm trying to win for the city of Milwaukee. And Giannis went and kicked the Knicks' ass earlier this week. And he said, my team is Milwaukee. So he just reaffirmed he's not even interested in going to New York with all the rumors because he's like, I want to kick the Knicks' ass. I don't want to go join them. I want to beat their ass. like he did 2 nights ago. So I don't know. I don't think that this trade for Giannis in the last couple of years for Barnes was actually ever a real thing. So I can't say that. I can't say what you're saying, G. Or Smooth. I guess I was Smooth. Let's see. Kareem saying IQ working for James Dolan and the Knicks. They conspiring over the Azotam situation. No, I don't think it's that deep. I just think in some ways IQ doesn't take being a Raptor as seriously as he should. I think that's what it is. In some ways, you're fucking with your own persona and who you are and your reputation, Emmanuel. If you're not playing all out and not playing exactly as well as you could, if you're losing or doing things on purpose to try and fuck things up so you get moved, shame on you. That's what I say right now. In some ways, you make yourself look bad if you're doing that kind of stuff. And I don't want to think that you are, because in some ways, look, the NBA is a weird place now with prop betting and people doing weird shit, like missing different bets on purpose. Like James Harden did something to some guy and he's whining and crying about it. Oh, you only got 25 points in the first half and you couldn't score more in the second? You knew that and you messed and screwed over all the prop bettors. I hope James did do that. You sorry degenerates gambling all your money on sports like that. I hope James did fuck with you like that. And you have no leg to stand on if you're a degenerate getting whiny and crying about NBA players not making your bets. So, man, IQ, you're making yourself look bad. You need to elevate your game. You need to play right, play fully engaged, and stop smiling so much. I know that this was a criticism of Vince Carter back in the day, and his mom had to make a big deal out of it on Open Gym last year. He smiles so much because he's just happy with life. Bitch, I don't give a shit if he's happy with life. He's losing, and he should not be so happy and losing. And that's one of the problems I have with Emmanuel right now. In some ways, he's a little too cheery and la la la, and that we're losing too much. Motherfucker, care and start giving a shit and start trying to win is what I'm saying right now. That's the weird thing right there. Fiercely saying, Lex, I know you want to protect Darko, but I believe he and his team need to rework lots of components. Also, I sense something has changed since preseason. Maybe they should go back to that formula. No, I agree with this. I think that in some ways I will turn around and come after Darko soon if we don't see an improvement in the coaching staff's preparations. In some ways, they're failing at making game plans to battle what we're up against. In some ways, he's failing at getting the effort out of the players, and that is coach's duties. And in some ways, I want to defend him and say he's doing a good job, but I can't right now. And that's why I'm pleading with Darko and his coaching staff to get up off your asses and do a better job. If you guys think you're doing a good job, you're not, because the results are not coming. And if that means y'all going deeper on your scouts, maybe being a little bit more fucking creative with your ideas about how to play these teams and try and match up with them and beat them, do it. Because what y'all are picking and choosing right now is failing left and right. And you need to show some level of success in finding modifications and changes to try and deal with the water that we're taking in on our ship as we're sinking right now. Seriously, y'all have got to get off your ass too, coaches, and fucking go double time. Because listen, there ain't no promise tomorrow for y'all. Seriously, they will fire your whole fucking staff if y'all don't fucking get your ass together, Evo and Jama and Vin and Jim Sand and Eric Curry and fucking Mike Batiste and Coco and all y'all. Y'all need to get off your ass and do better because your coach is in trouble. And coach, you need to do better too. Seriously, because this is not good, man. Y'all look very bad right now. And I can't defend y'all from your detractors and the people that think that you aren't a good coaching staff. Y'all look so good in the preseason, making games, winning games with the end of the bench and buzzer beaters. And I was lauding, man, our coaches are so good. What the fuck happened in the last couple weeks to make me think that y'all may be inept and not doing your job correctly, Darko, and the coaches? Seriously, this is a huge problem. This is ground zero, whoop, whoop, red alert that this shit is a problem right now. And you don't have an easy test going to Cleveland tomorrow, an in-season tournament game on Halloween, Spook House, against another huge team, and you don't have the right people. Then I go to Bobby and say, why the fuck aren't you letting Darko be set up for success and getting him the right personnel so that he can have a fight in the fight? You need another center, Bobby Webster. What the fuck did you do this? Why did you get us to this point? Seriously, this is fucked up. G saying Battle needs more minutes. I agree. He makes his shots and hustles. Give him time and see if the spacing is better. He also hustles for rebounds. The rebounds were 64 Rockets, 29 Raptors. That will not win a game. Doubled up on rebounds will never win the game. And there's a lot of different reasons for why that's happening. Whether it's the other team's just shooting so well, there's not many defensive rebounds, or the other team is getting in between us on their end and getting offensive putbacks left and right because we are ineffective as a defensive team. Yep. Those are problems. Neil's saying this. Grady needs to cool down on the movement shooting, get back to learning how to get open. We were talking about this on the phone. It's more important than taking the most difficult style. I think that Grady is not good at going to the basket right now when there's traffic. If he's laying it up and he's got an open lane, sure. But if he's trying to go and there's like two guys near the basket, you need to pass out. You're not going to make that shot over them. You're not physically strong enough to power it through like RJ. And you're not going to get the foul call because the refs don't respect you, Grady. And in some ways, that's just a turnover waiting to happen if you drive to the basket and there's a defender there. So you need to recognize if there's a defender there, you need to kick it out and be more likely to do that. Seriously. The other thing that pissed me off last night with IQ is that he was not managing fast breaks correctly. There were so many dumbass decisions in fast breaks and transition that he made the wrong decision, and we didn't get a score when we should have had an easy score. Seriously, you got to be a better point guard on the break, Emmanuel, and calling your own number, trying to go against two defenders like Grady is not a successful thing. You throw it back to the next guy, the trailer, and you let them attack them after you've drawn the defensive attention of the two players at the rim. You fucking had a spot where you had two guys you tried to go against on a fast break, and you had a trailer with RJ coming down the lane who's a much better finisher than you with people near the basket. So better decisions on transition opportunities, especially when we have a 2-on-1 and that gets fucked up. Back in the NBA, that was always a sign of an inept team. Was if you have a man advantage on transition fast breaks and you fuck up a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1, you are fucking up the fundamentals of basketball and you are not a professional. Because every single time you have a man advantage of 2-on-1 fast break, you're supposed to convert that basket. And the Raptors have not been good at this in the last year and not at all this year either. That's fucking something that needed to be fixed from last year. We were getting so many transition opportunities and we were not executing on them. As the broadcast said last night, there's execution and there's conversion. There's getting to the spot in the paint and then there's converting the shot. In some ways, y'all are doing half-assed job. You're doing the first part, I get the spot, but you're not converting the basket, Scott, because you're not making sure the fucking thing goes in. It's rimming out. Or you put too much spin on a shot and then falls out the basket. Fuck that. Scotty, sometimes some of your shots in the paint near the basket, 10 feet and in, you need to shoot with one hand and stop shooting both hands. Seriously. Get that light touch on one hand and push it up with one hand like Scott Jakob's doing with his push shots. Some of your shots with both hands within 10 feet are bad because you're using both hands. So use a little baby hook, use a little baby touch, and throw it up that way. When you're closer to the basket, you'll make it more better because you'll shoot it lighter. As you're shooting it too hard sometimes with both hands when you're 10 feet and in, and it's rimming out or not going in. Once again, the thing that matters is conversion. You can get that spot and look good. Oh, he got that paint touch. Ooh, he got that really good turnaround. But if it doesn't go through the basket, it's no fucking good, is it? No. So get your light touch with one hand shooting near the basket to be like Shaq. Just put it up. Put it up like this, little baby hooks. They'll make those shots better than trying to shoot it twice with both hands or try to shoot with both hands like that. Seriously, you're shooting too strong, Scotty. You need a light touch and you'll make those go in. Trust me. You'll make those go in. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. When Scotty wasn't playing right in his sophomore year, Masai called him in the office and he had a chat with him. Not saying Bobby doesn't care, but Masai definitely was 400% behind us. There are definitely things that we lack without Masai here. Everybody who thought that they were just duplicitous and we could be fine without Masai being here, they're fucking wrong. There's a certain quality control and a certain level of integrity about the team that Masai carried. In fact, some of the cheap-ass shit that Rogers has been doing with our promotions and our cross-promoting and all this kind of stuff, in some ways that wouldn't have flied under Ujiri's watch. And that may be part of the reason why they got rid of him is because Ujiri is quality control. And in some ways, he wasn't just quality control with the players and the excellence and how we carry ourselves. He was quality control for the imaging and how we carry our team. There's all kinds of crazy cross promoting and all kinds of cheap ass bullshit that Rodgers have been doing. You've seen they didn't even go to Casa Loma for the Halloween party this year because they cheapen out on different areas. And in some ways, Masai would be wanting the best because that's how he carried himself and that's how he was. I don't know if Bobby's got it in him to have people come in like the Godfather and say, come into my office, Scotty. I need to talk to you for a second. I mean, we need that. We need that kind of energy, Bobby Webster. You were around Ujiri for over a decade. You should understand some of the duties that he did that you didn't do, that you have to fill now. So maybe you do need to call Scott into the office and talk to him about reorienting his leadership on this team to be more effective. Seriously, I think that would be a nice thing to do right now is to have a little chat and talk to him real quick. Getting rid of the two bigs now looks fishy to me. Sarr wasn't great, but Shamshe could have had promise. Not sure why teams like Houston and Clippers and others have a plethora of bigs and we don't. I don't know, because they're allowed to and we're not. It just seems like that's just logic. Bobby, we have a weakness on our roster. Let's fix it. You're the GM. But no, the NBA won't allow us. We don't know it, and he's in a tough spot, and we can't ever know the truth. That the NBA has like told us we're not allowed to have more than one legitimate setter on our roster. Like, what the fuck is that? Seriously, what the fuck is that? Fiercey, thank you for the comments. Raptors champ saying Quickly is not a floor general like Lowry was. I don't see it working with Quickly as a point. I'm starting to believe that. Listen, Emmanuel, if you were doing things right, I would be on your side, and I would be like, yeah, we need Quickly forever. But in some ways, you look like a great trade piece right now. Seriously. You look like a great trade piece. And you know what? I would like to trade you for a big. Seriously. Right now. If we had trading season right now, in some ways, I would do this. Prove me wrong. Show me that you want to be here with RJ. Show me you want to win an NBA championship with the Toronto Raptors. If you don't, and you're half-assing us, and you're on the down low saying, I got to get out of here to go to my next spot, and you're sabotaging our season on the down low for this, fuck you Quickly for that. If that's true. If it's not true, I apologize for saying that. But I'm just saying, man, it looks fishy. What the fuck is going on right now? It looks fishy. Smooth saying this, Fred is in town and we'll be at the game for game 6 of the Blue Jays. That's right. He's not leaving. The Rockets have to go on the road and go to the next place, but not Fred. Fred's on his own schedule because he's hurt and it matters to him. He loves the city of Toronto and he wants to be here to feel those vibes of the Blue Jays winning. And hopefully he'll be able to be here for both games, or maybe he just needs one game because the Blue Jays will wrap it up tomorrow night against the Dodgers in game 6 of the World Series. Fantastic stuff. And it's going to be fantastic because when the Blue Jays win, it'll be on our home field here in Toronto, and everybody's going to go crazy and celebrate. That's right. It's going to be awesome. G saying this, start Mamu. Darko, I like you, but start Mamu and play Battle. Don't complicate Grady's role. We need a Fred to give them discipline. Now those hater fans see what an undisciplined team looks like. That's right. Boxing out is fundamentals. That's right. That's right. I wish they had started Mamu last night. I think that would have been the right decision. But alas, he started Colin. We hung with them, and we were doing all right in the first half. But in some ways, you're putting too much on Scott, and Scott is not up to the defensive assignment right now. And he's not doing the job to fill the role that we need, that Yak has left the void of. He's just not. It's just not. Yeah, and it's poetic that Fred was there watching in street clothes. And you know what? To him, his perspective is weird to watch the Raptors now. In some ways, he could see just how bad we were on defense and rebounding. He'd be like, man, every single Raptor team I was on never was this bad on defense and rebounding. Even though we had teams like Stanley Johnson, DeAndre Bembry, and Malachi Flynn in Tampa. We had more of a commitment to trying to stop people and playing harder on defense and rebounding in Tampa than this team currently does for the Raptors. That's how lazy they're fucking playing right now. Seriously. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Kareem saying Darko's rotations are atrocious. There, I said it. I'm not enjoying them because they're not successful. In some ways, he's not getting bench production. In some ways, he's not getting any kind of defensive lineups out there. It seems like it's just in the middle of everything. Everything's so down the middle, and it's not good enough in any kind of way for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a defensive lineup out there and say, well, you know what, guys? Y'all aren't fucking doing things right defensively. We're going to put out our best defenders, and we're going to try and just focus on stopping them. Like, seriously, that's another thing that's worrying me about the coaches is in-game adjustments. Read the fucking room. Put a fucking lineup out there and have a game plan. Set them up for success. Put Oshai out there with fucking 4 other good defenders. Good Jacoby out there. Put the guys who are putting the effort and actually playing the defense, and the guys who are actually going to get the rebounds, and reward them and play them. And the guys who are fucking standing around watching the game happen around them, bench them for a little while and tell them, I'm sick of y'all standing around watching. I'm putting the guys out there that are getting active and going after it. Seriously. In some ways, that's what I want from the coaching staff right now, is to fucking light a fire in their asses, reward the guys who are doing it right, and bench the guys who are standing around watching. Seriously, man. Seriously. G's saying this. I've been holding back on saying this because I don't want to put it out there, but Scotty does not like a lot of contact. We need someone that does so he can focus on his strengths. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Scott's deal is, bro. Figure this out, man. You want to be a franchise player? You want to be a leader of a team? Well, fucking lead the team to success. Don't lead it to bullshit. Seriously, figure this out, Scott. It's your team to set your tone, and your tone is shitty right now, bro. You're supposed to set the tone. You know, if you're not setting the tone, you know, OG, when he was on the team, he set a certain defensive tone for our team, even though he wasn't the main guy. OG always set a certain tone on defense for us. Where's the guy on our team setting the tone on defense right now, Scott? You're supposed to be that guy, and you're not doing it. You're not doing it. Yeah. Smooth saying, is Darko's coaching job in jeopardy, Lex? It's very early, but they look really, really bad. If it doesn't get fixed over the course of the season, yeah. Seriously. But I would say, I mean, I don't want anybody to get fired. I want them to fix this shit. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I'm only calling it like I see it and trying to be fair. I try to paint a rosy picture, but right now I can't. And in some ways, I'm the canary in the coal mine for them to say, oh, shit, Raptors Freak is positive and usually backing us up. But right now he's coming at us. So something is serious wrong. In some ways, I don't want them to fire Darko. I don't want them to fire Bobby. I don't want them to have to trade anybody. But something, if something doesn't get changed or fixed, then shit's going to happen. And I don't want an overreaction where it's like we built stuff up with Darko, and now all of a sudden we have to get another coach, and it's a coaching carousel. I don't want to fire Bobby because Bobby in some ways is the linkages to Masai. And in some ways we need to have that continuity. In some ways, you know, I'd rather these guys just get off their ass and fix everything, whatever department they're in, whether it's front office, coaching staff, or on the team. Everybody needs to fucking do their part to fix this shit right now. And you know what, whatever each person can do to try and help the issue, get together and do it. And seriously, because yeah, Bobby could be in trouble. Darko could be in trouble by the end of this year. Seriously, if it's not a successful year, if we backtrack this year from last year, which was a 30-win year, that is dismal, disappointing, and sad, and not the assignment. And for the as they said over and over again, Josh Lewinberg and other people, for the salary amount that we're paying these guys, the output and wins is not lining up. That's a huge fail. That's a huge fail. And in some ways we could say, well, maybe it's the roster build by Bobby, or is it just that the players don't fit together or they're not playing right themselves? Seriously. Some people say it's the coach. They're not setting them up with the right kind of shit and they're not making them work. Yeah, we can start pointing fingers when it's this bad. We can. And his job may be in jeopardy this year. Yeah. I said that it would take 10 to 15 games to get, but the way they've looked so far, no compete levels so far, I can't believe it. No, it's really bad. It's really bad. I want a baseline of showing that, like, yeah, we know there's a problem and we're starting to try and fix it. But there hasn't even been that. There hasn't even been that. That's what's scary to me, is whether it's Bobby can help with a new person, whether it's Darko changing the schemes and fixing it up from the coaching position, whether it's the players and the leaders on this team taking it more responsibility on themselves to fucking step up and not make it look so bad. Y'all need to stop the bleeding. Because, look, we haven't looked good since Friday. Y'all have had 3 games since. And in some ways, y'all have not shown any progress to fixing any of the fucking problems with this team right now. And that is a big, huge problem. That's where the coaching staff looks bad, is because they're not adjusting, not even in the game from quarter to quarter, but from a game to another game with days in between. Days in between. And y'all can't fucking fix this shit or come up with ideas. Darko and your staff. Seriously, I'm coming at them hard right now. In some ways, I have not been this critical of our team in a long time, but it's deserved right now. It's very much deserved right now. In some ways, I just want them to fix it so I don't have to do shows like this. I'd much rather talk about how badass y'all are instead of how much you're failing. Seriously. Fiercely saying this, I have a feeling something happened or was said on the internet and it's messing up with mental and how they play. The energy is shifted. I do feel like there's some sort of weird cracks in the team. Like there's some people that actually aren't getting along. And I don't want to believe that it's some of the new people coming. I don't want to believe that maybe it's like Scotty just not being the right leader and keeping things under control as the overall leader. In some ways, that's part of the job, Scott, is you're supposed to put out fires. If there are some issues on the down low between different players on the team, the leader of the team is supposed to come and say, we're sitting down. All of us are sitting here and we're fixing this shit right now. If there's lingering kind of bullshit that's happening under the surface and nobody wants to talk about it or face it off, don't be one of these avoid confrontation kind of people, Scotty. No, you can't let that shit fester and linger around. You and Garrett Temple need to go and sit down with some people and talk to people real quick. And Garrett Temple, if you're sitting on this team from the inside, seeing the problems and the issues with all your years of experience in the NBA, and you know what the problem is, you need to go and be that old head leader and do the right things and advice to the people that may need to hear it. And you may need to say something tough to people like Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Brandon Ingram that they may not want to totally hear from you. But you have the experience and the knowledge and you can see what the problem is. Seriously, I just want leadership on this team to step up and start fixing things, whether it's leadership at the top with Bobby, leadership with Darko and his coaches, or leaders that are on the team as players. If Garrett can do it, something to say something to them to fix this shit, if these young players can get themselves more serious and stop fucking around with their lives, they will understand what the problem is right now in some ways. Neil saying this, definitely could have won Bucks and Mavericks games, but we didn't. Issues from lost games are still plaguing us. The Houston game was lost in the moment you put CMB at the 5 because he's thrown in without a parachute. Yeah, I just don't like that. You know, you're putting Scotty at a very detrimental position. That's why Sandro may be absolutely essential to start right now, Darko. I know y'all wanted to be cute and let CMB get a first start ever. In some ways, I get it. In some ways, there's a rite of passage, but I don't totally necessarily agree with giving young players something too soon, too early. In some ways, it's the pay bracket. That's why he gets in that spot over Sandro. Sandro's not paid as much. Collins a lottery pick. In some ways, that's why they put him in there. I hate that decision making. I want it to be tactical, not necessarily by who gets paid what. You know, tactical decisions in the lineup is better, Darko. And then in some ways, starting a small lineup with no true center was not smart last night against the Rockets. Yeah. G saying one good defensive big alone will change a lot of things. A trade will happen this year. It's inevitable. Yeah, it's going to happen. Things aren't smooth sailing. Things aren't happening right. There's going to be a trade at some point. That's right. The Blackhawks saying pressure is not big enough. I tend to agree with them. I want a true center. I want a real center. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald. This season been mostly bad so far, but Colin, Scotty, and BI have been fun. Yeah, we need an answer to the center situation. The rebounding is a problem. Yep. Mugarbe's here. Good morning to Mugarbe Lennon. The Pacers is the worst, and I love how Scotty's playing. There you go. He's got something positive to say. He likes how Scotty's playing, and the Pacers are the worst, is what he's saying. Kaz is here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Good to see you. Kareem saying Bobby knows Mike Malone very well through Masai Ujiri. What are you trying to say? No, we're not trying to go get the son of our original Raptors coach to come in here. No, we need to let Darko have as much success as he possibly can. If he gets fired, he gets fired. And that's because he didn't fucking get his job right in the end right now. So Darko, seriously, man, seriously, I'm not trying to bring pitchforks and torches for you. I'm trying to protect you. But in some ways, I don't have ammunition to protect you if the team is not getting problems solved from game to game. Seriously. And I know Bobby is at fault for not giving you the right centers right now. I know that's part of it. Nako's saying Darko's on the hot seat. I'd trade IQ. There you go. See, Nako's saying that. I don't know. Darko is not totally on the hot seat yet, but he will be if this continues. Kaz saying Scott needs to tell Bobby to get him a center. Yeah. Shit, fuck. Go get Dayron Sharp, Scotty's friend from the Nets, somehow, some way. That would be an added bonus. He might help just enough. Seriously, we just need a big body to rebound and play defense. That's all we need right now. And since Matt Devlin's saying on the broadcast, there's so many big men out there. It's easy to just get big men. Bullshit, Matt Devlin. We ain't seeing that with our roster. You saying this to Raptors fans? That's gaslighting. There's so many big men out there. We can get another big man easy. Don't worry about Shamshay. No, fuck that. We do need big men. We don't feel like there's so many big men out there because why the fuck do the Raptors not have big men for fucking 5 years now? Seriously. We ain't got no centers for fucking 5 years. Freddie Gillespie, Ken Burch, Aaron Baines, Alex Len. Bullshit. Seriously. When will we get centers? Seriously. When can we get fucking centers, Bobby Webster? That's my biggest question today. That is my biggest question today. When can we fucking get centers? Bobby Webster. When can we do that? Can you go get a center for us, please? Go get a fucking center. Seriously. Mugabe's saying, if they move RJ, I'm done with this team. That's a threat. And you know what? He's probably not the only one. Seriously. Do not trade RJ. Out of all the people you got, you do not trade RJ Barrett. You keep him and you trade other people. You can even trade Scott before RJ. Seriously, right now. I feel like in some ways, if RJ became more of the team leader with his effort and the way he carries himself, that might be a good thing. Seriously. Because in some ways, RJ has the right energy to be the right leader to lead this team with effort and the way he plays and the way he carries. And we know he's a real one for the city. We know he's not fucking half-assing his game for the Raptors. No, he's playing all out because he's a native son of Toronto. And he's playing with his real heart and his real integrity. In some ways, I would like him to step up and be a more vocal leader about getting people off their ass and being more involved and doing things right on this team. If he's stepping on Scotty's toes, well, Scotty, why the fuck is somebody needing to step on your toes to get fucking things correctly here? Once again, we don't just give shit to people because that's what they're supposed to get. No, you have to earn this shit. And Scott, if you want to be the franchise face and the leader of this team, you better fucking be it and start doing it and not just be it entitled. Because in some ways, we need leadership on this team right now. That is the biggest thing we're lacking right now is leadership. We had Fred VanVleet before we had leadership. We don't have leadership right now all of a sudden. Why the fuck is that? There's no Pascal. There's no this or that. Where's the leadership on our team? Seriously, Brandon's older. He's not really a natural leader. He's not going to step up and be like, I'm the leader, guys. I'm going to tell everybody. No, in some ways it's good that he's kind of in the back, kind of being who he is. That means you, Scott. But if you don't want to do it, let RJ do it. Because I'm sure RJ could fire people up because he is a real one for this city. And I know you can't be too, Scott. It's just that you're not showing that energy. And you need to be a stronger leader right now. You really do. And it may not be vocally. It may be on the court and leading by example with boxing out and rebounding and playing good defense. That's what we need from you right now, Scott. I don't give a shit about threes. I don't give a shit about 30 points. I want you to establish a baseline of defense and rebounding for the Toronto Raptors again as a leader, Scotty Barnes. And you have it in you. You can do it. So focus on that shit more. Seriously. You love CMB. He's going to be a problem in the league. Yeah, it's a great start. But once again, there's a lot of things he's not doing yet because he doesn't know he can. And when he does find them, he'll be looking even better. But we can't rely on him for the three-point shot. This is kind of a silly thing right now. But later on in his career, he's not going to be getting those threes. And in some ways, we can't paint him as a three-point shooter for his career. That's not really who he is. If he has that shot for most of his career, that's great. But I'm not depending on Colin Murray Boyles for threes in the future. I'm sorry. It's a great extra gravy thing. But we cannot make this a bread and butter part of our winning situation, game in and game out. That's why three-point shooting is not a sustainable winning strategy for us. And we did it last night, and we still lost. Let's go look at the team stats. It's ridiculous how well we shoot last night, and we still lost. We lost by fucking almost 20 points. Seriously, 18-point loss. And we shot 50% from the field, 52.5% from three. 21 threes made, 21 of 40. That's crazy. That is crazy. We got 2 less shots than the Rockets, and they made 7 more shots than us. They shot 58% again. And once again, the Raptors shot kind of pissy at the free throw line. They missed 5 free throws and shot 74%. It's passable, but y'all should be really shooting a little bit better. The rebounds, absolutely horrendous. 53 to 22, 17 offensive rebounds for the Rockets. That's a huge fail. The assists, 31 assists for the Rockets with 17 turnovers. The Raptors, 29 assists with 10 turnovers. So a 3-to-1 ratio as a team on assisted turnovers. That's good. That's good. And they were finding each other. But the rebounds, absolutely the worst stat. And then also points in the paint. 66 points for the Rockets in the paint, 36 for us. That is horrible, man. Horrible. And they even got more fast break points than us. They scored 27 on their fast break, and we only scored 7. We turned them over more, and we only scored 7 because we were piss poor at converting on fast break opportunities. Just a bad game, man. I can't believe how well we shot, and we still fucking lost. It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Let's keep going. Let's see. G saying make them rebound for days straight, box out and rebound. Yeah, just drill that in. Just do a whole fucking practice on rebounding, Darko. If you get a practice anytime soon, just do a whole fucking practice on rebounding and committing back to rebounding. And all those cards, Jamal Shed, Emmanuel Quickly, they need to be like Fat Lever right now. They need to be going in there in the land of Giants and trying to fucking get the ball. I feel like in some ways these guys are trying not to let easy baskets by overcommitting on defense, but they're not playing their defense right. And now they're in a no man's land in between, and they're absolutely ineffective either way. In some ways, I'd rather them play all out and let easy baskets come in by getting beat by the offense, but they're playing aggressively because in some ways I'd rather them do that than play no defense and not try at all. Seriously, because they're letting people score easy anyway, even if they don't overcommit on trying to get steals. Seriously, I'd rather them play all out and get beat by getting that, but at least they're playing aggressive with energy, and they may possibly still get turnovers here, even if the backdoor or the three-point shot in the corner is open because we overcommitted on defense. In some ways, they're staying home more. They're playing it more safe to try not to let those easy shots, but they're still ineffective at stopping teams because they can't fucking stop them either way. It's like, what the fuck, man? Might as well play aggressive and go for the steal then, like Darko was saying. Shaq Lindsay saying, let's make a trade for Jonathan Isaac. Never get Jonathan Isaac. I do not want that man up here. He's a no trade to come here. He's a fucking piece of shit. And we don't want Jonathan Isaac. No, we don't. Trust me, we don't. We don't. And it has non-basketball reasons why we don't want him. There's very, very serious reasons why we don't want him. So don't even bring that up, Shaq Lindsay. I'm sure Ed Rogers would love to have him because he would be the kind of person that would go to Mar-a-Lago with him. So fuck Jonathan Isaacs. I don't want him on our team. He's old and he's washed, and he's not actually a real center. So in some ways, that's not the right. I'd rather you bring up Mo Bamba and say, hey, let's get Mo Bamba and dust him off from the waiver wire because he's not in the league right now. He's actually realistic, but Mo Bamba's a bust, and he's a lazy ass player, so he's not going to help us, even if he's a big man. Even if he's a big man. So yeah, no Jonathan Isaac. I say no to that. Kareem saying Quickly has been doing the same dumb shit for years. He picks up his dribble in no man's land. Point guards are the one to keep the dribble alive and create. Emmanuel Quickly does not have a great IQ. That's part of the thing. It's ironic. The Raptors need to play with more IQ. You know, Scotty's Bush League, when he pulls up threes and nobody's back to rebound it, that's a bad IQ move, Scott. That's not good basketball. I'm sorry. It's just not. And, pulling up in transition threes with nobody else back, don't do that. That's bad basketball. That's basketball fundamentals. I don't understand why the young players don't have it ingrained in them, the basic rules of bad basketball. Don't put the ball back in under your own basket from inbounds. Out of bounds. If you're going out of bounds, let the ball go out of bounds if it's on your end. Don't try and save it. Because if you save the ball, it goes to the other team. They run and they have a fast break opportunity with man advantage because you're back there out of bounds saving the ball. There's very basic rules to basic fundamentals in basketball that young players just don't fucking adhere to. Where there's a mismatch on the court, Scotty, if you see a mismatch on the court, go to it, execute on it. That is the whole NBA back in the 80s, is looking for the mismatches and executing. And if the mismatch went by and nobody executed on it, that would be a fail. People would be calling that out. Yeah, dude, Brandon had that mismatch down low and you totally ignored him and you didn't see it. You didn't get him the ball. That's a fail in the old NBA because you want to take advantage of every little weakness, every little advantage that you could get. But these players are so lackadaisical, they sleep on half of the mismatches and advantages that come up in games. They're not even trained to see them. What the fuck are we doing with basketball and coaching and young players? That they can't get the basics, the fundamentals that we've learned, the basis of the game off of. It's just a totally